Just waiting on PCE data to come through here. October PCE expected. Just got initial jobless claims there. The first one to pop up, 218,000 versus 220,000 expected there. Looks like the month-over-month number for PCE in line with expectations. So 3%, just hearing in my ear here, 3% in line with expectation. A lot of people were expecting maybe a little bit of a downtick, but 0.2 on the spending, 0.2 on the income for the month-over-month for October. Again, still hasn't populated here, but it is actually 3%. For the year-over-year October number. That's the one that everyone was waiting for here. Core PCE price in line as well, 3.5%. Jobless claims on an uptick here, 1.9 million versus 1.87 million expected there. And there's that PCE number, 3.5 and 3 as expected. Jobless claims, 4-week average now 220. That's a slight downtick. Only one Fed speaker on the docket today. Fed's Williams coming up at 9:05. We'll see what the market has to think about that when it comes through. Welcome to Cybertruck Day. We'll see what happens coming up at 3 p.m. this afternoon. Cybertruck deliveries to kick off. There will be a live stream. We'll see if that has any effect on Tesla stock. Random comments from Elon after the close yesterday may have some effect as well. We'll talk about that obviously coming up as well. It's Thursday, November 30th, 2023. Tradertv.live starts now. All right, market kind of shrugging that off as we hold on to positive territory here. 0.37 for the NASDAQ was a move actually initially downside, and then we go higher back to basically flat. At this point, as far as the individual names are concerned, there he is, already on the phone, Mr. Powell. 1.92 on the continuing claims. That should help things out versus 1.87 million expected there for the continuing jobless claims. PCE, again, if you missed it, exactly in line with expectations, 3% versus 3%, 3.5 on the core versus 3.5 expected there. So everything coming out basically in line with expectations. If you go back to Tuesday, I was talking with Frank Caberna from IG. We were kind of throwing back and forth the idea of maybe we see a 2 handle. We're not there yet.
I never know what to make when we are actually in line. Do we trend up? Do we go down? I will have to wait and see, but there continues to be more slack now in the job market as claims continue to rise. That's good because we're keeping, the Fed is keeping an eye on the job market and continued strength. We saw over the last week, the consumer is still spending money. We saw on Cyber Monday and Black Friday, there wasn't, that decrease that some analysts were talking about. Lots to talk about today, Brenda.
Yeah, downside now or a little bit of a down tick there for the overall market. Again, heading towards 3 p.m. this afternoon, guys. We'll get this Cybertruck live stream delivery.
Yes, sir. Get your Cybertruck locked and loaded, ready to go.
Cyberchuck, I like that.
Chuck. Yeah, chuck it out the, no, just kidding. I was gonna say chuck it out the window, but the countdown.
Why is it?
I'm loving it.
Why are we counting down to a delivery? Like, what are we expecting to happen here?
Nothing.
Like the car just rolls out and we're like, oh, there's the Cybertruck that we've all seen before, and seen on the road, and I guess this is just like the official. Like you're gonna get the phone call, your car is here to come pick up.
You got to imagine for anybody that's actually getting one today, there's a level of excitement, and so it's like leveraging
but is that what it is? You can now go to. They don't even have dealerships.
Well, no, people are getting. There's going to be some delivery, and then they'll make an event out of it.
Yeah.
Although I did see,
Drama.
anyways, I saw a video essentially comparing performance on a truck, the Cybertruck going up a hill relative to. I forget which kind of Jeep it was.
Not the Nikola one. It can't go uphill. That one.
Let's just say the Cybertruck didn't win the battle, but I'm like, it's not supposed to compete against off-road vehicles in that one-to-one space. But look, there's a lot to watch today. I think maybe we'll pay attention to Tesla. I don't know. We'll throw that one out there. And then I think Rivian could be in play today. It rejected a pretty big level. You had blowout moves in the aftermarket in both Salesforce and Snowflake. Those are going to be in play today. The chips, 100%. SOX L is making a lower high off a big resistance level. That puts all the chips back into play. Watch some intel. Marvell reports tonight, so that's going to be there. You got day 2, GameStop. Like, what else do you want? There's so much to look at in terms of actionable stocks that are going to be in play today. Didn't even mention anything about the Mag 7. I don't love the fact that on that number we just rejected 16.1 again. That's not the best sign. You wanted that number. I mean, in line, I suppose everyone was wanting it to just be lower, but is what it is. You can't make up the numbers. You can just react to them. Well, I guess you can make them up if you're China.
Yeah, you can make them up if you're any company, really. The thing is, I forgot. Like, I'm just sending out the sticky note right now. I just got to put it up on Twitter, but I forgot about GameStop actually. So yesterday it was it was only. Okay. It was the only thing on my mind yesterday, and then now today, what a difference a day makes. But I still think this name goes as well today. So up 1.4%. Obviously, it's not as robust as it was yesterday at this time, but I still think this 1580, 1560 area, we blew through there. We didn't really test back until the close, and then we held. And I remember watching this, and remember I was saying that I wanted this break of 1620? Well, I mean, it happened. It just happened after market. And yeah, now you're a little higher than there. So let's see about a 1580, 1560 sort of area of concern. And congratulations, hopefully coming to Ford shareholders as they give a little bit of an outlook here. I don't think it's that bad of a deal there. It's going to add, bottom line, they said, what was it, $900 per vehicle over the next couple years by the time this UAW deal all sort of pans out there. And it's going to cost them roughly $9 billion, $8 billion, $8.8 billion to their bottom line for this deal, which when I heard that number, I was like, oh my God, that's a lot.
It seems like more.
I feel like $800 to $900 per vehicle, doesn't seem to be horrible. But again, they're already sort of, you have some companies cutting prices, and they potentially have to pass those on to the
rates coming down eventually is going to help.
And that's the other good thing about all the financing wings. And then that's what happened with GM, right? GM has a big financing. So you saw yesterday with their guide forward and then up 12% or something. So we'll see what winds up happening today with some of these companies. But needless to say, I mean, we didn't even get over OpenAI with Microsoft. And here comes Randy. It's Cybertruck Day. And here comes Randy. Got a haircut. He's waiting for his Cybertruck delivery.
No, he's going to unveil the haircut, right? Well, you already did.
He unveiled it yesterday. There's nothing dramatic.
It's always the same thing. The day Randy grows hair, that's the big day. So are you gonna show us the Cybertruck?
What color did you get? You said you're the guy that ordered.
You said you're ordering one.
The pink one. No.
No. Okay.
That was the way.
He's really excited. Actually, me and Randy had a conversation, and I think you were right about this, is the add-ons, the accessories, the customization of the Cybertruck is what's going to spur even more sales, because when people start to see what they're able to do with it, then we will move forward with hopefully more hype on that truck. So
lots and lots of accessories.
All right, lots of accessories.
That's how
is
it
what
should
he's
be.
saying. All right.
Kits and camper kits and dog cages, and it just goes on.
I'm going to get told to tell you to pick up the mic in a minute, but it doesn't really matter. All right, we'll get more Randy later on. How about that?
Coffee?
I mean, I just got one, but
I just got one.
Yeah,
I'll take a fresh one.
I'll take a fresh one.
Appreciate it.
Get that machine to work, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I still have a decent.
Well, mine's getting cold, so
that's the problem.
Once it's getting cold, you gotta get a warm coffee. That's what it's all about.
And then tonight, I just found out Sharif, the game tonight is Dallas.
The Cowboys are good. I mean, if they can't beat Geno Smith.
What's the plan tonight? You watching?
Mentioned, Sean, too, that Arsenal won 6-0 yesterday and won their group in the Champions League, qualifying for the knockout round.
Hold on.
Why?
Well, I'm trying to talk to you about
Sharif pivot.
the Dallas Cowboys versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah. Well, I have affinity for both European football, world football, and American football. So I just had to mention that. Of course, I was talking to Neil off camera about that. Look, man, Geno's having a decent year. Do they have a winning record, or are they 500? I'm talking about Seattle.
Whoa, hold on a second.
No.
Hold on a second. The only person that thinks Geno's having a good year is his mom's. He's not having a good year at all, bro.
He's not having a bad year, man. Come on.
Yes, he is having a bad year.
His bank account is having
No, but here's the thing.
year.
He would say he's having I promise you he would say he's having a bad year. Think
so?
He's a realist. Of course he would.
Okay.
He's not having a good season. If you guys don't win tonight, that'd be a disappointment.
Well, I'm gunning for the win, obviously. We're playing
as long
at
as
home,
Tyler
too,
Lockett gets 100 yards.
I think it's a 10-point spread. So,
What
all
do you
right,
think?
Sharif. I like the stripes today.
Thanks, man.
They're
symmetrical today, Sean.
They're a lot.
So people
they're
can't
aligned.
complain in
They're
the chat
aligned.
about,
I was waiting for someone in the chat to say that there, but
That's your thing. You should only wear non-symmetrical striped shirts now.
I can make that my thing. I don't mind.
there we go. Yeah, Anurag there. Today the shirt is symmetrical.
And a beard. That'd be nice.
Very good. And then the
Beard's not coming back. No.
Just reading through this Canadian GDP print here. It looks like it was actually negative. So Q3 quarter over quarter actual is negative 1.1%, which would theoretically be 2 in a row.
Yeah, well, that
So
technically, that's the
technically,
definition
then
of
that's-
recession, right?
Yeah, recession. So yeah, on this side of the border, they're already pricing in 100 basis points worth of cuts by the end of next year. So that's a full percent for
We saw the banks too.
keeping score. Yeah, so bank's not looking good. So yeah, Q3 quarter over quarter actual negative 1.1% versus negative 0.2% expected there. So not good for this economy.
No, and like I just mentioned, alluded to the bank, Scotiabank reported, and they had loan loss provisions double what they had forecasted. And I haven't read through the TD one, but I was talking to Breno this morning, and it looks like that they're in the same boat. We have many mortgages here that are fixed rate, low interest, that are going to be up for renewal next year and the year after. So the predictions are that the Fed is, or the Bank of Canada, our equivalent of the Fed, is going to have to cut before that. Otherwise, the consumer is going to get more squeeze than they already are. And we're not growing. We don't have the same type of economy that America does. We don't have nearly as much productivity.
Yeah, that print yesterday was unexpected, to say the least. 5.3% on that latest GDP print for the U.S. So yeah, we'll see. Interesting. CPI in Europe also lower than expected this morning. So the euro got a bit of a tick higher. Dollar is higher this morning as well. Yields I saw back to the upside a little bit here this morning. So overall, I mean, the market kind of hanging out here, guys, kind of shrugging off this data so far today. Again, ahead of, there's only one. We heard from Loretta Mester yesterday that kind of kicked off that move to the downside, completely contradicting everything we heard the prior day, saying not only are we not there yet, but we may need more and multiple interest rate hikes still in the U.S. coming off that monstrous GDP print. So yeah, we'll see how today plays out.
After hearing you just say, are we there yet? I almost feel like we should be sending Brendan to the next time they have one of those conferences, and you just sit there and be like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Fed pivot, traders want to know. Like, get Trader TV live at one of those conferences and have you badger them. And I also want to know what the deal is with this 16-1. Can we just break this out, please? Like, come on, let's just do it. I mean, obviously we can't will this kind of thing into existence, but if you remember yesterday, it was one of those, it looked like an obvious breakout on just about everything, and the futures it was the same thing. You were breaking that 16-1 and you were finally flying away from it, and then suddenly it turned into chop fest in 100 points. 16,000 to 16-1 was the entire afternoon. You're working off basically the same thing here. Let the market dictate to you whether we're going to actually go outside of here. And if we're not moving, if we don't break this on the number today, then we still hang out in this 100-point range. Just make sure you stick to what's going. That's why we're just talking about GameStops and Snapchats and Tesla. Because if the market doesn't give you a heck of a lot, then you're going to be sitting there fighting a losing battle. There's some small caps in the chat as well. I see Bob. I see all of you talking about minimum. This has been absolutely insane. This was $1 stock, which is now floated all the way up to $7. And I use the term float intentionally. There was a NASDAQ delist, the NASDAQ notice that just came through this morning. And the float is exactly 1 million shares.
No.
I see. Well, sorry. 1.03 million. So 1,030,000. That's my bad. It's close enough to 1 million that I was like, it's exactly 1 million. No, it's not. That is imprecise. However, it is another one of these low float, reverse split, eventually makes a runner stocks. And when you have this happen, generally speaking, I anticipate the first time reverse splits, it makes a move up. The second one is not nearly as big. I see a wick to 14 with a lower high at 820. I'm skeptical that this thing can make the move into 14 even, just because the first time after reverse split, it wasn't able to crack that 14 level. So 820 looks like a good jump zone if it can take that out. But as I speak, it's failing the $8 level. So you have another one of these runners. There were a bunch of sympathy plays yesterday in squeeze land and low float land. So if you start to see one go and you can find yourself an entry, like tight, like in the pre-market or early in the move, that's the best time to get in, because there you can actually take a breakout. That's 240, and at the bottom that's 180. That's 25% on a 1 million float stock that's just starting to go and broke out $1. That's reasonable risk to reward.
I just, yeah, I was going to talk about it as well, because I just found a level here. I mean, we're already, I got to fix this chart because it's not showing where we are today, but we're up here at 7 right now. And if you go all the way back to February, obviously what we were just talking about, this $7 level has come into play on this name again. But we saw yesterday, I mean, let's just check out what VVOS is doing. And we are going to talk, look, I'll most likely be in GameStop and AMC and those kind of names, because obviously familiarity and things like that. But VVOS here today was a great runner yesterday. And again, another name that was 700,000 shares, or a very, very low float name. Got up to 50. Why isn't my chart changing? Got up to $50 in the aftermarket or so yesterday. And now it's just back down in here and waiting to go again, honestly. So it's only 285,000 shares right now. But this name, again, it was in the millions and millions yesterday. I think it was 45 million by the time the afternoon comes through. And what a crazy name. And the thing about it is, as we talk about a lot of these low float runners, we have low float runner specialist on the line right now. So let's go over, find out what Luis is up to.
It's been a few weeks. Good to have Luis Barbado back with us from the Day Trade the World office over in Barcelona, Spain. We'll touch on a few names here. Luis, how are you? First of all, good to see you.
It's good. We have a lot of tickers to talk about today, as you can see.
Yeah, it's been not only a busy morning, but a busy week with these. And I want to get your take on this, because it seems like it's the new thing with these little tiny stocks where they'll get a delisting notice or a minimum bid requirement notice from the NASDAQ or whatever. And then they'll do the reverse split, they'll get a pop, and then it just continues to run once the float is down to 1 million shares or less. We saw a couple going back to yesterday. One was 450,000 shares, one was 550,000 shares. So, I mean, give me your thoughts here on this this idea.
It's always about cycles, so be very careful about the cycle right now. It's runners. It's short squeezing. We say in Spanish, I don't know if in English it's the same, if you write the law, you find the trick as well, you know what I mean? So they do this delisting thing, so they find the ways to avoid these situations. They do the reverse splits, and if we have one runner reverse split, as we had VVOS, we are having a lot today. Yesterday was another one, JOS. YOSH as well, running crazy after a reverse split. So of course, it's not going to work forever. We have few days that if you see a reverse split, probably you just have to jump in long and set up your tight stop loss just in case it runs, and that's it. You saw yesterday a crazy consolidation and VVOS over $16, $17 for a couple of hours. Like, who was buying this stock? It's a short squeeze, exactly.
Yeah, so let's jump into this MINM here. We're above any kind of significant levels if you go back to at least last year on a daily chart for this. And you said it right there, and I think it's worth reiterating. This becomes quite dangerous if you're caught offside here, because the float is so short or so small, 650%. When is there a time that you will switch from the long idea to a short?
That's a very, very difficult question, Brendan. If I would know it, I would be a millionaire probably. It is difficult. First of all, you have to really take very careful the size you're in, because of the float and because of the volatility. Measure very good your size in the trade and set up hard stops. In this case, sometimes we don't trade with hard stops. We manually risk management the trades, but in this case you cannot do that. Look at the consolidation over $4. It's jumping 400%, and somebody's holding the 4-round number, like buying thousands, buying the whole float. No, it doesn't make any sense. But if you're short there, set up a hard stop, and if you're long as well, set up a hard stop below 4. After those consolidations, volatility goes even higher and higher, because we're talking about percentage. Another 100% is not $1 anymore, it's $4. So you have to take this into account. When to go short? You check very good the level 2, some weakness on the level 2, some levels as you say, from February or whatever that you really trust, and also look at the other companies related, like Sympathies, what's doing VVOS and another reverse splits. How are they behaving at that moment as well?
You mentioned a really good word when we started here, the cycle aspect of this, and we kind of saw that coming into play a little bit yesterday. When one went, then there was the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. It's tempting, specifically for new traders, it's tempting to try and chase once you start seeing the next one go. But it's also a good point to make, I think, that typically the third or the fourth or the fifth one to go, the move ends up never being the same size or the same length, at least as far as time is concerned.
Yeah, I would say stick to your rules, stick to your strategy, to your playbook. If now we have a lot of runners and that's not your style, just try to avoid it at least. We have some trainees, some traders who are short sellers. They look for tickers with not so good news as the chart is indicating, maybe gapping up 100%, but you check the news, nothing big, not a lot of volume, so they go short in all these tickers. What they do in this cycle, they don't go long. They just do the same strategy, but smaller, or just stop for a few days. It's like algorithm trading. You have to switch off the machine some days because it's not going to work.
All right, let's touch on another one here that's actually not one of these. Clearmind, CMND up big time here, 60% almost, trying to hold on to 6.5 or 6 anyways. What are you thinking here for Clearmind today?
Yeah, this one, it's not the sector, it's not biotechnology. If I'm right, it's some farming or something like that, some farm. So it doesn't seem so strong. It's not a reverse split either, but maybe it was a reverse split a few days ago. Yeah, from 0.1, so it should be like 31 to 30 reverse split, but it's not. It happened like 3 days ago, so it doesn't look this stock so strong as the other. If it fails below 7, I think this is a good chance to go short. I don't know if we have locates on this one, I have to admit.
Yeah, a little bit less volume, only 1.6 million shares here pre-market so far for CMND. Anything else catching your eye here today?
Yeah, we have ADTX as well, another ticker which is running. It moved from $3.50, $4 to almost $10, moving down again. So we'll see if it reacts on the upside in this holding $5.50, $6, and we see another leg up. That's the main. And then we have a merger today. IMGN is paying 95% price or something like that, premium for a buyout of IMGN.
Yeah, lots of different ways to approach that concept. Give me your thoughts here on a buyout on a merger of this size specifically. That's no doubt going to get some scrutiny down the road and possibly have some hurdles to get over. How do you approach something like IMGN today?
If you trade merger, that's a completely different strategy. You check out the buyer, you check out the price, you check out the how do you call it, the end date, when it's purchased totally in the stock market. And with all these numbers, you try to stick very, very near to the price, moving a lot of volume, looking for very small movements. You know what I mean? Taking the rebates if it's a cheap stock, but you're looking for 1, 2, 3 cents mainly, and also being very careful if it comes some squeeze because of some news and some big position getting stuck at the wrong price. So it's another different strategy. You go very big and you look for very small movement because actually it shouldn't move from the price near it's going to be purchased.
Luis Barbato, lots to look at. We'll let you get back to it. Great to see you as always. Thanks for this. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you very much, Brendan. See you soon.
Good to see Luis back, and aptly timed because with all of those runners, when that's your style, you want to look at when you have the opportunity in whatever your style is, you've got to be able to be there and hit it. And you haven't always seen those types of low float runners be hot. We've had a lot of them the last couple of weeks. Just one thing to add on IMGN, it's AbbVie. Paying $31.26 cash. Just want to double check. I think I have that right. $31.26 cash for them. This is almost 100% premium as mentioned. Keep in mind a couple of things here. When we talk about a buyout price, almost all deals from very, very large players within the industry, so a big name like AbbVie buying Immunogen, that puts it under a little bit of pressure. from you know who, Sharif's favorite person in the entire world. And then on top of that, you have to consider the fact that if it doesn't close until late next year, which I think was the early projection, your rates are higher, so spreads are going to be a little bit bigger. So it's not trading, it's like trading a $2 away from the current price. And it's a huge gap up. It has a 10% short float, so one of the worst things you can do is be caught short in something that has a buyout. I can tell you that right now. That's absolutely nasty for anybody that was short, but some of that probably has to unwind. I think if it gets over 30, it's a fade. I'm not even sure it does that, just based on those factors. Bigger spreads these days, more scrutiny when big names try to make an acquisition, is in the case here with AbbVie. So I think the deal does take a while to close, and along those lines, it could be traded today. It's got good volume. Just don't expect for this to be a gap and runner. Very, very different story.
All right, just posted the sticky note. You can go find it. It is now out. Now, Milwaukee Brewers hand Churio a huge deal. Number 2 prospect.
He's going to be a beast.
8 years, 80 mil. Okay, yeah. So just watch out for some of these runners again today. Thanks to Luis for coming through. VVOS is an interesting one. I mean, look at it, barcode here for a little bit yesterday in the afternoon, and then got going $20 to the upside. So, you're always going to be looking for things like that. And then we already talked a little bit about Minim. Was it MNIM?
Yeah,
isn't that what it is? No, it's MINM. Yeah, there it is. Let's see where we're at. 650 right now. So similar kind of barcoding happening right now, trying to drop below $6. That could be an interesting level. Watch out for 750 to break once this market opens. And I mean, we still got a half hour, so who knows where we're going to go. Yeah, the Raptors, what's up, Futuristic? Yeah, big win yesterday over the Phoenix Suns. And the thing about that was the Raptors, for some reason, never got in until 4 a.m. From New York the night before. So I don't know what's up with that, but nice win there. Beating KD, but Devin Booker got hurt. So, okay, let's go back over to the desk. We got a half hour until this, the party gets started.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's get some analyst moves for you this morning. Adara has some upgrades and downgrades for you over at the screen.
Jefferies upgrading both Snapchat and Pinterest with significant price target increases. Both have near or the highest price targets in Wall Street. So keep an eye on Snapchat and Pinterest after those Jefferies upgrades. We also have Spirit Aerosystems getting an upgrade from Baird, and HP Hewlett-Packard getting an upgrade from Morgan Stanley. In terms of downgrades, we have Okta with a downgrade from TD Cowen. This comes after Okta disclosed the details of that security breach they had back in October. We also have Nokia getting a downgrade from JP Morgan Chase. Ericsson also with a JP Morgan Chase downgrade. Acadia, last but not least, getting a downgrade from Compass Point, guys.
So Snapchat, it's up 3%, which isn't bad, but it's where if you zoom out on Snapchat, look at how long this bottom has been put in on the daily chart. It's got 7 to about 13, like this level here is about 1365. That's the highest open. You have a wick above it. And if you go all the way back, going into the middle, or at least the early middle of 2022, you have this like 1590 to 16 top. I have the lower high put in there when it actually flushed at 1540. But if this can break 65, that is a wide gap with over 10% worth of run time for you. And it's been churning into this level. It is at resistance now, so it does need to punch through. But Snapchat, it's a tighter consolidation than what Pinterest is, because Pinterest has been already breaking it out a bit. Like Snapchat has a chance to break these levels today, whereas Pinterest has been in more of an upward glide, while very, very slowly breaking a very similar type of channel. So I think Snapchat has a little bit more potential in my eyes when I look at that, though Pins has been the stronger name. We get through 65 on Snap. I only want to be looking longs above that level.
All right, here we go. We're into Nimin right now. There it is, man. We're already in the money 40 cents. It just bounced off $6, but I'm still going to get out if it breaks down through 6. So actually, you know what? We could have just gone 1-to-1 right there. Maybe we should do that now. I was waiting for this name to get through 650. I'm actually offering 690. But now that I think about it, in the pre-market, we'll probably lose. I mean, I don't know if we will lose $6 or not, but we could lose it and then battle right back. So maybe we should take out a piece here for 1-to-1. So we're going to break this down through $6 and see what happens there. Let me just keep it here for now and see. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday right on the show, and I'm 35% in the money now on this Snapchat trade. So that's going to be a good one. We talked about this yesterday, and then I even highlighted, and I didn't know, any news was going to be coming through today, but I also highlighted this 1350 area and said we'd take some off. So after the show, we'll probably take a little bit off there on Snapchat and pay for some Christmas gifts. So I like it. It's a nice move to the upside right there for Snapchat. And you know what, to be honest with you, I didn't even, just some upgrades. Yeah, okay, I was going to say, because I saw Pinterest as well. So just an upgrade. So we'll see if people can get on board. And where we bought it was just right here. We talked about that. It came back in. I'm going to find the date because I feel like I bought it on this big, huge move down in and thought that we had some support in and around this area. That's why I'm long in here, 1030, because I thought we were going to bounce back up. And then all of a sudden this happened, and we did not average in at all to this name. And we were talking about why we bought it. I thought there was a good chance for this name to be bought out or something like that. What the hell? Okay, here we go. Now we're starting to print a little bit here. Let's effing go right there to start the day off with a banger right there. There's 70 cents. I told you, have the ability to have these different names in your toolbox. And there it is right there on Minim. Minim, that's what it is. I keep saying Nimum. Minim right there. Nice move up. Don't need to know what's going on with the stock because there it is. Hey, we get an early one right there. It's an early dollar club right there. So let's see what happens. That's what we're doing. We're going long. Shout out to Dees. There it is. Shout out to everybody. Let's just hold this. It's now $1 in the money, and that's an early trade that we had no idea we would be in. So there you go, man. You got to sit down. You got to have a chip and a chair. We have a chip and a chair.
Hawkish. Just be aware, guys. Fed's Daily speaking right now. Mary Daly saying policy is in a very good place, but too early to know whether the Fed is done raising rates. So more on the hawkish side from, again, Fed's Daily speaking right now. So kicking off a bit of a sell program there in the overall market. Let's get into everything else you need to know. Sharif's going to kick it off, as always, with a look at the market. 45.59,
guys. That's where we closed out yesterday. We're progressively making higher lows, but we're still in that very consolidated state. This takes us back to mid-September, early September, when we were at these levels. We had an attempt yesterday at 4,600. We got awfully close, about 4 or 5 points away. But you know what happened after that? We sold off. But critically, we didn't make a newer low, and we held that 50-point level. So I'm looking today for the overnight high to be resistance. That's 45.78, and we'll look for 45.50 to be that level of support.
We're also expecting comments coming up here in a few minutes, 3 minutes exactly, from Williams. Fed's Williams going to be speaking here in a few minutes as well. So just be aware. If you haven't done so, make sure you grab that. Very easy. Go to watchlist.tradertv.live, enter your email address, or scan that QR code, gets you there as well. And then you get that every single day from us to you for free. Let's talk Tesla. Yeah, it's Cybertruck Day, but who cares? Because Elon was saying some things after the close, if you missed it, on this deal book. What's it called? Deal book conference with Sorkin from CNBC. Wow. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Hey, Bob.
What's up,
Slippery
Bob?
Sorkin was, he was interviewing him, and Elon did not hold back yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. I saw it all over social media yesterday. It's Elon being Elon. He can do it, and yeah, we'll see how we do today. But Cybertruck in focus. They want to scale this bad boy, about 250,000 of these they want to make a year. It's going to take awfully long time to be able to scale to that level Elon says. We'll see how the Cybertruck sells in this high interest rate environment.
You got to feel bad for, X is obviously a private company, so we don't get to see salaries, but you got to feel bad for Linda Yaccarino. But I mean, she knew what she had to have known what she was getting into. But Tesla, kind of flat here, guys, ahead of this Cybertruck thing.
I actually don't feel bad for her. With what he said, she basically has a golden ticket. If they fail, she can't bring in advertising, then no one's blaming her. They're just going to blame Elon. Anyways, if you haven't listened to it, then it's worth listening to. Before we get to Tesla, I want to shout out, thank you, Kevin Stanford here for the super chat. And he's saying, you'll probably be able to tell Brian this. I don't know if you have already. Tell Brian thanks for IMGN, doubled money overnight they were acquired. So they're the ones being bought by AbbVie. It was like a 90% premium, so it's almost a full double up. Shout out there. I guess he must have mentioned that on VWAP. You can't know what's going to get bought out. However, think about what that tells you. When a stock is consolidating off any indicator, especially something like VWAP, that can be a sign of accumulation. And if a stock is getting bought, somebody was accumulating, and sometimes that can manifest itself with it holding a level like a VWAP or in that case, an anchored VWAP as well. So definitely one that can give you an indication of that. It doesn't mean that the stock's going to get bought when it's holding that indicator, but it's one that can give you an idea that there's accumulation, which is a telltale sign that somebody's buying it. Just look at Warren Buffett and Oxy all the time. Looks like they're already jumping the gun here on Tesla in terms of maybe selling the news. Yesterday, it was a basically all day long sell outside of the first 30 minutes of the day. If we're going to be selling the news here, then it's giving you 250 as a level. And I think if I look at where this was on all the stair steps to the downside, it's right in here, the opening bottom at 249, which is the over-under kind of deal for me. So if it's 249 to 250, I think that's where it's a fade. If it's breaking back above that level, Tesla's all go to the upside in my mind. You have until 3 o'clock until we have to deal with any actual like hype that comes into this. So you have all day to basically trade this. I think support's down at 241. I think that Rivian's going to be in play because of this. This failed a monster breakout at 18 even. Almost the same setup with 18 for me as a resistance level. And if it gets above 18, I'd be looking for the long trade in Rivian as well. But as long as you're underneath failing a breakout on a day where the news is dropping, I think you just go with the trend. The trend yesterday was to the sell side. Unless we break resistance, I'm looking for the fade.
Did you see this minimum?
Minimum. I was trying to come up with a pun. I've got nothing for minimum. I've got nothing for minimum pun.
Yeah, there's.
But it's.
Go ahead. Yeah.
$14.
Yeah, where are we getting?
So my entire theory when I see those charts is that it doesn't get to the 14 when it's got a level like that. Yeah. So I usually say math is lazy. 8 to 14, cut in half is $3. $11 is usually. Maybe you could slap a Fibonacci on or something if you're looking for a target. But 14, usually you don't get to the other wick high. The second time it moves, you usually don't break the wick top. I think it was minimum that had a. I just said minimum. I'm going to say minimum a lot. It's minimum. Minimum is the one. Minimum.
Look, like we're in this name. It's $2.50 in the money, and trying to bounce off again. Like, do you have a $2.50 winner this early in the day? I mean, this is not something that normally, we're involved with, but we are now, and there it goes. So I'm just gonna hold it, see what happens here. This could be one of those names today. We've already talked about it. Thank you so much, Rob. We have 1.03 million on the float right now. Short float's going to be irrelevant because that's going to get jacked up after today, and not reported anyways immediately. So we're gonna have to wait to see what happens here with Minim as it's really starting to go. So again, this is another one of those trades where we had, and I told you where my out was. We have 20 cents worth of risk now to be in the money 10 to 1. So we're now in the money $2. So 20 cents worth of risk to be in the money $2. And now it seems silly to take that out for 80 cents or whatever we did, but we only got out of a third, which is pretty good. So now let's wait to see what happens here with Minim on the upside. So far so good.
Just seeing a note on AMCR on the NYSE. There's no volume behind this, but apparently they have expanded their partnership with Apple. Anyone knew that Amcor had a partnership with Apple, but again, no volume, so heads up. Let's talk Salesforce. That's quite the gap. 250 holding after a beat and a guidance raise.
Yeah, look, they met expectations on revenue, $8.72 billion. However, revenue increased year over year on the quarter, about 11% from 7.84. They beat on earnings, though. It was great. Customer support grew 12%. That's their biggest moneymaker. Revenue for their software segment also grew 12%, and the platform and other uses grew about 11%. So Mark Benioff doing what he does, and they're beating.
Just hearing Fed futures now pointing to no change right through the March meeting. So May, we've been talking about May possibly, but no change expected now right through March for Fed fund futures. CRM, yeah, nice look here, guys, after earnings.
I mean, they're holding the gap pretty well here. When the market dipped back in, the first thought was like some of these gap fillers might actually pull back in and break the bottom. That didn't happen here with CRM. It's a bit of a blue sky setup, to steal something from Sharif as always. It's something he likes to talk about. Although, I'm going to pull out my trade ideas weekly so you can get an idea. On the daily chart, you're not going to see any levels out there until you pull the weekly up and you realize, hey, we've been here before. It's just been a while. So that's your 240 level that you're already breaking through, and then you've got a big, it's 265, 266 out there, and then right here is more or less the top now, like a 254. So if it gets through 54, $10 worth of room to the upside. I could have pulled the daily chart back further and you could have seen the same thing. But first things first, it actually has to hold this low at 250. It's a very tight consolidation considering what the gap is. If it holds 250, almost all things are possible. Like I said, if it gets 254, this has room to go even higher. But I would not be surprised, especially with the market coming in to test this 16,000, if we're not filling, at least attempting to fill in this gap with a 250 breakdown. If that happens, there was buy support at 246. Too wide of a gap, you're just making up numbers in between. If I were to do so, there's almost no point. Like I just look for maybe 46 hold. If not that, then just wait for a bottom to emerge itself on CRM. I mean, the recurring revenue is great for them. I think it was like, I think it was maybe like 27% or something of their revenue is of recurring nature. That's not a bad thing to have.
It's just such a great move, and we talked about this yesterday on the recap show. And yeah, I want to that super chat. I will pass that message I already have over to Brian about that. That's why you want to watch the after show. We had so many great ideas there. We had Chris on yesterday, and he was literally like, "Sean, your best call ever, ever." He said, "I don't know," was Pan W at 235. He was talking about buying some. He was on the show, and I was showing him this level. And we talked about this down there on Pan W, and he's like, not only was the Microsoft 360 a great call, but so was that one down there. And then we give credit for IMGN over there the other day to Brian with what he was looking at. He said he was looking at some IBB names. You know, he really thought that they were beat down. And if you go over to the IBB ETF, again, iShares Biotechnology, there's also XBI if you want to trade the Invesco shares as well. But yeah, some of these now finally starting to break back above the 50-period moving average. There's some ETFs that you can still pick up relatively cheap. This is probably one of them. So a shout out to traders who stay late with me, and it's going to be another good show here tonight. All right, so I wanted to talk about CRM because it's breaking out. It's on the sticky note right now, and I just wrote down 250 because, and I sort of prefaced it with, I don't know where the level is going to be on this name, honestly. I don't know. 248, 249, we danced around there a little bit, 247, 246. The 50-period or the 200-period moving average is here at 246.50. Let's just not make the same mistake that we did yesterday on GameStop, and we've made it before on some different stocks as well, where it was GameStop yesterday, but there was another one the day before that had earnings that broke out. Was it Rivian? I can't remember what it wasn't Rivian because it wasn't earnings. But anyways, there was a name that broke out the top. We took the break, and then we had to wait for it to baseline because it did come back against that breakout level. So I would be saying like, hey man, I would hit this 252 solid and big, but I'd rather do it once the market opens and once we can find a base. So CRM, I'm hoping this minimum will be the trade of the day for me, which it already is, but I'm hoping we can get even a bigger one here with obviously more shares and whatnot with CRM. So let's just wait for a baseline here. It's a name you want to get long. It's a name most people hold in their accounts, I hope. And I really like it. And I've been saying from the day that we started this show that Mark Benioff was definitely a CEO that I wanted to get behind. So glad that he was away and now back for a while. That's a couple of years ago. So it's great to see this name finally starting to work. And sometimes it's the CEO, right? Foot Locker got a new CEO as well, the female from Ulta Beauty. And you've seen that's, wow, here we go.
I don't know about that, dude.
It is now minimum. Starting to go now, $3. M&M, that's a good one right now. $3 in the money now as here we go. This is where it's like you want to just turn off your P&L, but the thing is that we just got to let this thing float up, man. I mean, come on. The stock's only up 900%. I mean, that's like a paltry 900%. So let's see if this one keeps going. It's minimum, and it's going here, guys.
Still, yeah, insane. Let's talk some Snowflake here. Another impressive report after the close yesterday. This level, I wanted to zoom out a bit, 190, 195 up here if you go all the way back to spring and summer coming into play here this morning. But nice report for Snowflake. You had some figures that were pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, they beat on the top and bottom line, Brendo. So 734 mil in revenue. That's off 436 customers. So $750 million generated in revenue off less than 500 customers. That's very interesting to me. Earnings, they beat as well, 25-cent EPS, better than the 16% expected by the street. Revenue was up 32% year over year. The guide comes in better than expected as well. They're now guiding 716 to 721 million for Q4. That would be 29 to 30% increase over Q4 of last year. So good luck for Snowflake here. Let's see how they do.
I was just double checking. I'm not, yeah, I am seeing a short interest, but it's not right. That's got to be an old one, but still a little bit anyways on the short side for Snow.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about M&M and IMGN. Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm going to chew through a few of these and have some trouble doing so. But when it comes to Snowflake, look, I like what's going on in the daily chart. I don't like the resistance here at 195. Breakouts have been really good this earnings season in terms of like getting some follow through and going into new price levels and all the stuff that you want. And if you look at the daily, yeah, if it gets through 195, huge. And then you got the next level up at 205. That's a tremendous amount of potential. However, like we just mentioned, the futures pull back in. This doesn't get to the 195 again. It's already starting to dip. So I almost have to play Snowflake by ear. It's at a resistance spot that is telling me usually you want to short into a level like that. At 195, I still feel like we're in a bullish market, so I don't necessarily want to go against the grain on something with a strong catalyst on like earnings were good. It was a good quarter. I know people will say it's overpriced. Fair enough. When things grow, and when you get double-digit growth, then you kind of grow into those earnings, and that's the way the market prices things. I wouldn't get too wrapped up in that. I'd just rather have seen it break this 195 more than anything else. Where it sits, I don't know that I want to be trading it. I could see myself trading CRM off 250 or 246. I don't know that I see myself trading Snowflake here unless it gets out and about that 195.
Yeah, I'm just trying to watch out here for this.
Trail it. Well,
no, I'm not going to trail. I'm just going to hold this. It doesn't really matter for now. All right, so I wrote down here on the sticky note that I really want to look at Palantir off the Snowflake numbers. So again, I know they're not the same kind of company, and they have, well, they are similar, but they do have different contracts and whatnot. As I knock over this bull, oh, the bull just keeps on falling down here. All right. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, like, Palantir, I really like the stock. I don't really know why it's only up 0.76. I thought it would be up a little bit more. I thought I would come in today and be able to see this 2050 break. Yesterday, we had a great short in this name. It was my number one stock by the time the day was over. We actually had this 2025 short. We started the short right there against that high, and then we actually were lucky enough to get that wick, and then lucky enough to cover it when we made the move down. But see this move down? This is what I'm talking about today. Let's see if the market somehow fades out a little bit now, and if we are able to get something down in and around this 1980 area. So I'm already bidding down here. I'm bidding 1975. Maybe I need to move it up, but I'm not happy with this move down. The NASDAQ is making that move down. I don't know if it's on that story that Brendan gave with possible rates. No change until March, I think was the story there. So I thought that was pretty much expected, but I guess some traders maybe thought that we were going to be getting a cut before then. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was 44% or so in March. We'll double check it. But anyways, with the market falling down, I really like Palantir. I really like the story behind this name. And if we could just hold this top, you're going to see 1980 here coming back into play. So you can go back all the way to sort of the 21st, 22nd here, where you're trying to hold out on 1975, 1970s. So this little area, I think it should be good support. And then worst case scenario, if you really wanted to hold and you didn't have that many shares, maybe down to 19 could be another holding spot there for Palantir. So if this market really falls on its head now and does take 16,000, then I think I'm going to go over to Palantir and try to buy some 19s.
Williams' comments just coming through as well. On the fence, really, it seems like for Fed's Williams saying policy rate at or near peak, but could rise again. So play both sides. Then you can't lose, right?
Of course.
So. Let's go to Snap. Nice look here. Not a lot of volume overall in the pre-market, only 300,000 shares, but an upgrade once again today. It's been a pretty good couple of weeks here for Snapchat.
Yeah, Jeffries had some comments about Snapchat and Pinterest with an upgrade for both. With respect to Snapchat, they increased the price target from 16 to 12, says the company's revenue growth can re-accelerate into the mid-teens for the full year 2024 compared to a 7% decline this year. For Pinterest, they're saying they're convinced about the company's ability to grow revenue by over 20% in 2024 and increasing that price target from 32 to 41. By the way, Jeffries has the highest price target on Snapchat and the second highest on Pinterest. Snap up 45% and year to date, and Pins also up 37%.
Yeah, might be a little bit difficult here today for these. I mean, a lot of stocks gapping up, but the market testing day lows right now, so still holding on to gains here for Snap.
Yeah, I mean, that last part's interesting. Like when you have somebody that's already the most bullish on something, giving you the bullish take. Look, the catalyst is what it is. I think sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. It's just enough that there is one. I want to see a little bit more volume out of Snapchat, but I'll zoom in the chart because I was showing you guys the channel for the last year and a half. I'm sort of ignoring the wick there on the daily because the resistance has been at 65. If Snapchat gets through 1365 at the open, it's going to take volume to do so. I think it's a breakout play. And it's got a decent enough, I mean, the short float matters in some cases more than others. It's not nothing, it's 7%. 7% is pretty decent here with Snapchat. So if it can get above that and start breaking out, I like it a little bit more than what I would say in Pinterest. Pinterest, like it made a nice move yesterday, and I see like it's, if this were to pull back into the 33 or 32 and a half range, the previous resistance level, that would support maybe like a dip buy, but I'm not sure that's going to be front of the mind at 9:30. Like the front of the mind will be Snapchat if it can take out that top, not if Pinterest can fall a dollar change back into a decent enough support level for a long. So I'm looking at Snapchat more than Pinterest today. But if we do get a really big down move, that would come into play for Pinterest on some support levels. Till that happens, Snapchat looking for the break.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I like Snapchat today, and I think that you can probably play that break. I like when we get upgrades rather than earnings, to be honest with you, because earnings to me is just a little difficult. Because like if you're long CRM from yesterday and you made an earnings play, probably cash out a little bit at the open, which could create the stock to make a move down. If you're long Snapchat today or yesterday or whatever, just like I am or any of us, and you're like thinking about what to do, you're probably going to let it settle down. And if it continues to move up, it's only up 3%. So this name, I mean, this has been, honestly, I look at Uber and I was like, man, I'm really glad how that's moving. But this was sort of undercover. And this took me by surprise yesterday when it showed up on our radar breaking through $13. Now you're getting just a huge move up here for Snapchat. And I actually think it is a break of $13.50. I like it. It's decent volume. It's 358,000 right now. It's a good name. There is somewhat of a, did you talk about the short float? I think there's
7%.
Right, I was gonna say, I think there's something, but I don't think it was major. But so again, nice move. Let's see if we can get some 13 love down there. That would be pretty sweet. I'm just a little uncertain about what the market's going to do here today. I think the big trade, we talked about Tesla. Tesla moves a lot off the open. I think that might be the where to look. But I also want to make sure that we can hold down here at 16,000. The market's below VWAP or below the 50-period moving average. We've had the best, this is the best month since July of 2022, I believe. So, you're having basically a record month, in the last 2 years. So it's been a monster move up. I just feel like, the NASDAQ could settle down a little bit here. I can even call up the NASDAQ quickly for everybody here on the triple Qs just to show you. I mean, you guys know the kind of numbers that we're talking about. I'm not sure exactly what it's up this month, but you're up 48% year to date. This is November bottom, 345. You're all the way up to 389 now. Just an absolute monster move. We have, 3 red days this month? Like, it's incredible. I could see some coming out today. We do have MSCI rebalancing that could hit the market off open. And then we will come back to us and we'll discuss some of these imbalances once we get the NASDAQ. But right now, look at this. Buys, right? AT&T's a sell, LYG. But other than that, everything on here is a buy. And they're not huge names, Ford, Snapchat, Palantir, they're names we're talking about, but they're all buys, and there's CRM down here as well. That's also a bid. So, hey, man, maybe the market does catch a bid again here today. But let's watch out for 16,000.
Quick correction. I mentioned AMCR earlier with the tie-up with Apple. It's AMKR, not AMCR. So there was an actual move. Didn't make sense. Wasn't doing anything. So AMKR up 3% here, expanding their partnership with Apple. Let's talk about these two again. A little bit lower volume once again today, but GME and AMC need to be back on watch.
What a great couple of days it was for at least GME. That's one that I was involved in yesterday. Great. The meme ETF, MEME, trading on the ARCA. The rate of change on this bad boy up 17% since July, the 15-day rate of change. So interesting how these meme stocks are becoming a thing again. By the way, involved in this ETF is the likes of Affirm, Coinbase, Mara, Riot, Roku, SoFi, Hood, Tesla. So you got some of the bigger names in this one, Brendan.
Going to need some participation once again today, but only 500,000 shares right now. Down a little bit so far today, but still within the range, guys.
Yeah, and look, I'm lining up a level here that on a 3-minute chart might not make some sense to you on GameStop. So I'm going to start with the daily. When in doubt, zoom out. 1620, 1620. It's going to cut right through yesterday's trade, that 1620 level. But if you look at the behavior of the stock when it broke that level out, look at this consolidation for the second move to the upside. So in the open market, that level definitely held up pretty nicely. So I just want to see buying above this price. Look for the long. So that's the big level on the daily chart. If there's buyers above here, there's still room to 19, something that was discussed in the afternoon show. I don't want to say at length, but I mean, every time it came up, like, what do you think about GameStop? Like, everyone was looking sort of at the 19 area for good reason, I think, on the daily chart. So if we're holding 16.20 at the open, or even 16, like what's 20 cents on GameStop? Not a heck of a lot, right? So if you're holding those levels and the buyers emerge there, this is the spot to take a shot at that secondary move. If it does break 16 even, it's already shown that it wants 15 underneath that price. So I don't think it's something you want to hold to 15 unless that's your cup of tea, because you can probably get another trade in there. Like the way that it was behaving, there was no need to hold all the way down. You can just wait for 15 and then get that price if you like it.
One name, yeah, so that's exactly, I have a bid at 15, so I'm not even going to say anything else other than that. I agree, that's a key level. I'm going to wait for 15 to come in on GME, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, and then we will reassess like we did yesterday. I mean, if you didn't have the move early, you actually won. Like yesterday, we took 1650 or 1630 break, whatever it was. That was where we broke our rules, I think. We took the break, and then it came in and filled down to 15, right? So on the sticky note, I do have Microsoft written down here as a potential long, but that's when we were up at 381. We've now dropped down $3. Like, I was thinking we could hold this area from yesterday's close on Softy. So it's on the sticky note here as a long today, but that's because I was thinking we could drop into this level and then see some support, but it looks like we're gonna open up at this level. So I'm actually thinking about flipping in some of these names short, man. Like 380 short on Microsoft is looking pretty good. So I was just getting some of these orders out to get ready for the move today. And I was like, oh, I'm going to bid Microsoft 378. But no, I am not anymore. So if you guys are on this list here, just pay attention to that. It's just moved down a little bit too dramatically. The NASDAQ has also fallen about 60 points here. So that's not good into the open. And here's all of the imbalances right now. Still all buys. So that's fine. Remember, there is some sort of there's MSCI rebalance happening. That's going to happen in the morning and at the close. So I don't see any major NASDAQ names on here. They're updating, as you can see, movement, but nothing on here that scares me. Palantir with a bid, which is nice. We're already bidding that one down here at 1975. Let's see if we can hold that. But, and honestly, like what me and Neil were discussing here, you know, normally I would have got out here at 950 because $10 is like a key level for sure. I just want to hold this just for fun at this point. Like, I'm in this. I'm not in these enough. I mean, I'm in them enough. I feel like the last couple of days I've been in a lot of these things. But, you know, we're just going to wait to see what happens here on this. We saw VVOS yesterday, sort of moon. And I just think it's worth the shot. This is not going to be any sort of a day breaker, but it could be a day maker. And that's what we're willing to take a risk with here. If I get out, I'll still be up on the stock, you know, roughly, if this breaks back down through $6. So I think it's worth it. We're going to fly with this and see what happens with only a minute to go. So that's a little bit of a recap there. Palantir dipping down. I like that bid. Ford possibly as well.
Ford possibly in play. Oh, yeah, one more for you guys. With 1 minute to go, Intel failed 45 yesterday. That's the big level on the daily. I have to zoom out to show you the big level on the daily, but you can see it's been battling 45. It broke and then failed to top here. If you're looking at SOXL is making a lower high, so the chip names in general on this nice little bull run are making lower highs. So underneath 45 and into this pre-market high, like I'm looking for a fade off of this level. If Intel takes out the top, forget about it. Just look for some longs in that particular case. We talked about Rivian for a bit of a fade trade. Snapchat for a possible breakout. I feel like there was something else I was thinking that we didn't get to. Oh, well, we didn't really talk about VinFast, but I mean, there's better runners today than VinFast. Is that enough? VinFast has already given up the move. That's the reason we're not really paying attention to it. So it's already giving it up. As we get the countdown on this Thursday, Cybertruck Day, as we are open in actually 2 and 1. Ring it now.
Cybertruck. All right, so
Cybertruck
that's not
ready.
until what they said.
3 o'clock.
3 p.m. So 3 p.m. Everyone will get their lovely deliveries, and we will see. So I already do have an
Or
order to
will
go
they?
through 4 through 11. That's not happening right now. The NASDAQ is tumbling, and we've been watching as we talk about the Cybertruck. I wrote down here Tesla 243 long, but again, this is a name that we got to watch early. There's 243. It was yesterday's bottom. It actually could be a breaker into the bottom for that stock. Now that I see this, if the market does continue to break lower here, I actually don't mind a break below this, and I'm going to probably hate myself if I take this and it loses, but we'll try it right now. Break down below 243. I don't like the way this market's happening. We're about to go red. We saw Tesla yesterday was basically, hit pretty much all day. It had a nice move, and then now today we're sort of up on the day. Now we're going to turn a little bit red, and let's see if we can break through 243. It just held, so again, could have got long on a price that we wrote down on our sticky note, but it's still very, very early. I'm going to take a 243 break short. There we go. Now we're short.
Oh, Tesla already starting to come down. I thought I'd get Intel or Rivian. Snapchat just took out its high. It's going to get to 70s here. There's some sellers
What?
at 70,
Oh
1370.
Yes, sir.
If this got to $70, then it's not going to $70. But it just broke the 50s. It's on the way to 14 even. Remember, past 14, there's like room to 15 and a half. But I want to make sure if we get like an opening push up, get some profit, because a lot of times you get that initial pull back in, that snap back into the downside. INM at minimum about to halt to the upside.
Oh, it was.
I can't. I'm going to butcher that name.
It was
If I
$4
bungle
in the
something,
money
I'm
there.
talking about minimum. Okay, so if you hear me mumble about it, then it's obviously going to be minimum. Tesla, as you mentioned, already making that power
we already
move.
got a great move.
But Rivian just wicked the pre-market high. I thought it was a fade off 18, but that just set up like a wick of the pre-market high, which is usually an entry for me in the other direction. Market bouncing here, and the EVs are not exactly looking healthy. Again,
That's too bad, because that minimum was gonna halt there at 1050, at 1025, and then it didn't. So we are $4 or $5 in the money. I have an offer.
fake
Up,
halt.
I have an offer up there now. I mean,
not
honestly,
really
if
a
we
fake
could make $4 on a $6 name, let's just do that. All right, Tesla came within 1 penny of filling me, and here it comes right there, and there it is right now. Spin it. That's another $1. Oh, we have something for that. All right, guys, it is what it is at certain points. And this is what I'm talking about, having the ability to switch up your thought, honestly. It's like we were going to go long 243, and then all of a sudden, just the way it was moving off the open, the way the futures were going to the downside, we liked the short, and now that's what it is, man. It's pay dirt, and it's good. So let's wait. We only got out of a third. So we've only got in a third of minimum and Tesla. It could still go against. It's just let's take that fill down there at 242 like we did, and now we'll wait to see. It did break lower. The bottom of the day is 241.76. So again, that's about $1.20 in the money on Tesla, but it needs to make that move. And hey, man, I am like super happy. Snap what? And are you long this name?
oh, you know me. 1350 to 14 is the play.
Great play.
But
No,
it did the
wow.
look. It did the old over under.
Let's do this.
So that's always a strat for me. If it gets to 14 and pulls a failed
wanna
break
get
at
out of my
9:30, then
position.
in the first 5 minutes, I'm usually looking for the snapback. The continuation play has room to 15 even. So if the buyers can emerge again, when I say the buyers, I'm speaking like just in general sense on the market. If buyers emerge above 14 and can hold this for the opening range, then I want to try to get another long in there. But I'm out of it, and I'm now short Intel. I was just complaining about not getting short opportunities, which a lot of times when you do that, just wait for it, because a couple of minutes later, you're probably going to get something, as this market has been giving you shorts if you really want them. So Intel just popped, missing some data from yesterday on my 3, but 45, as we mentioned, we closed at 45 essentially, and we're testing it right here in some weakness into the market as we speak. Snowflake is the other one I wanted to get to. Snowflake, it is now bouncing to the upside. So it does bounce off pre-market lows. I wasn't willing to just sort of sit there, but suddenly you do have a level at that 187. So double bottom here, off of support as well in the aftermarket. If it fails 190, look for a higher low and then try to join the party to set upside. Snapchat is absolutely flying.
I am loving that.
That stock, if it gets to 15 today, that'd be interesting. Oh, GameStop.
We might 1579.
GameStop dipped down into afternoon support was at 15.6. So I said if it broke 16 even, no buyers above, then just look for another level. And it looks like we might have found one there at 15.60.
All right, I just wanted to say something about Tesla. Tesla was almost $2 in the money. But the thing is that the NASDAQ did exactly what we actually thought it would do. It wicked down to 16,000. We talked about it. It's written on the sticky note. We talked about it in the pre-market. What happens if we bounce off that 16? Is that going to be support? And is this something that we need to be, wary of? But answer was yes. I mean, you just had to wait for that to happen, and then you got a huge move back up. We bounced off 16,012 back up to 1650 in 1 minute. So we bounced up about 40 handles, but now look, now it's rejection again at this pre-market level of 16,050. So let's go right now. The chef is cooking right now. We are Russell Wilson right now. I mean, I'd like to get that paycheck, that's for sure. But I'm willing to sign a 5-year deal here, I think. I think that's worth it. Right now, here we go to the downside. It's Tesla. Right now, it's $2, minimum $2. So we got a back-to-back jacks right now. Feeling like a little Vlad Guerrero action. Hopefully that happens this year. Here we go, nice little downside. And hopefully Vlad hits a bomb, followed by Shohei. So that would be really nice. Let's see what happens here to the bottom. Right now goes our friend and Sharif's friend, Stressla, to steal something from him again, as that's something that we do around here. More my colleague to the right happens to do it.
I'm
But
a thief around
the
here.
one thing that Sharif did steal from you was the flat bottom break. So I can't even say it with a straight face.
100%. That is,
okay, so.
No, that's definitely mine.
Yeah. AMD making moves. We just got to find something to trade. I'm getting actually anxious right now because we have a policy where we don't go in and trade any of our stock during the show. And I want to get the hell out of some of that Snapchat.
Well, it just reclaimed 14 again. So it's like...
Damn, maybe I'll message Marissa, get the hell out. Oh, I'm still not allowed to do that. Okay.
Oh, it's holding 14 even.
Okay, good.
If buyers show again above 14, it just got back down to 14, went to 95, but it's pretty thin here. Now you're seeing a little bit of strength, just a little hint of it. Come on, buyers to 2s. No, nothing. Again, the tape is pretty lame. There we go. Someone just stepped up a little bit there. I just took 3s, giving it to 13.95. Nah, it's still not that strong.
240 now.
Still not as strong as I thought. That might have been like a trap to get in at that level. I'm gonna get to Intel in a second. Gonna get to stop in. If more buying steps up at 14 or like 14.05, then it's the only place I should join. These back-end plays on the way back through,
we have a number.
Give it a tight stop, because these names, you just never really know. And I always get in too early when I'm trying to catch a secondary play. So I'm going to get out of it, go over to Intel, quickly show you what just happened. It just curled off of 15, was able to add at 94, and then buyers came back at 80. I took some out at 85. So we're in this one short. For now, it's not exactly blowing up, but that could change in a second as wow. Let's go to Adara, but Snowflake, bye-bye.
SNGX running right now, guys. Sologenics has secured FDA clearance for one of its ulcer-related treatments, up about 50% right now. Strong volume, SNGX, guys.
Should have not gone to Snapchat for that 14 and should have just paid more attention to Snowflake. Yeah, Snowflake, look at the clean break at 190. Like that's real clean.
Love some Snowflake.
That is super clean. Maybe there'll be a dip and stair-step it to the upside. That's a clean move.
We're in Snowflake as well, but that's not one that I plan on selling. Difference between Snowflake and Snapchat is one I think is worth holding for a long time, and one is kind of like just a rando. Okay, so that would be Snapchat, I think, is the random one. Okay, here we go. Tesla is now almost $3 in the money. I am not going to avoid taking something out here at 240. Like, again, this is why you layer in, well, why I layer out. I didn't layer in this time. We only have one trade, and that was a 243 break. How clean is that? We hashtag real trading. You're going to find out why. If you can only make 1 or 2 trades in a day, I mean, this one's not bad, and you might want to cover right now. Again, we do have a number coming out at 9:45. Let me just double check our watch list to figure out what exactly that is. It's Chicago PMI. So again, another decent. Let's go. We're at, yes, we got to fill. Yes, sir. There it is right now. This is diamond hands for me, man. $3 winner. We'll take it. It's a little bit of diamonds there. So good job right here. We are already up more today than we were yesterday, and it's 9:39. So we're happy with that kind of performance for sure. And let's just see if we can't keep on making it. We're now out of 2/3 of our Tesla trade. That seems to be a good one. Look, I know there's some talk about minimum, and people are saying, like, why am I not getting out and stuff like that. The whole point is it hasn't even halted yet. So I don't know if it's going to halt. I was debating putting a stop. If, you know what, maybe we'll just do this then. You know, like, if we get stopped out, we get stopped out. Like I said, now we're kind of rolling with house money on everything now, including this Tesla. So let's just see if it can, let's see if it can make today a special one. That's all. Like, that's what we're trying to do. Let's just see if it can continue to go back up. I do have an offer up here at 1050. I mean, just sort of thinking that if we can get back up there, who knows? But that's what we're going to do. We're going to just hold on to that. And as I said, man, today has been a great day. I really love that Snapchat trade. Honestly, we just covered some Tesla. Today, as Ice Cube says, is a good day.
Today is a good day. I always forget the actual day that day is, which is one of the best things in hip hop history, is that someone actually took the time to go through that verse and figure out.
Oh, really?
No,
okay.
There was an actual day where everything he said more or less lined up. The weather, he talked about a basketball game. I'm back into Snapchat, so it's holding 14 for now. But it's a very much 4 now because 16,000 just went. So I got in and out there. I took some out at 14.10 because look at the weakness in the market. If you're not watching the weakness in the market, I don't know what you're looking at. Well, we're going to the desk with Fedara.
This is crude oil right now, definitely seeing a spike alongside these oil stocks as the OPEC reaches an agreement to cut by 1 million barrels per day. So keep an eye on oil and crude oil right now, guys. Definitely to the upside.
IMGN. Okay, so thank you so much for that. Yeah, we are getting, you know, back into reality with MINM here as it comes back into. This would have been where I was thinking about getting out, was right here at that 775 break. We did talk about that. So we could still get a piece out right now and forget about it. It's at 775 right now. But ifs and buts. I mean, I've already planned this trade. And honestly, if it winds up losing, it would suck. It would lose out, but you know, all is well when we're staring at that. But maybe we'll get a piece out. Maybe let's just, where is that? That's VWAP 850. Okay. If we could take $2 on 6, we'll do that. Let's cancel our 1050. Put in 850. That way we can capture some profit if and when it does bounce up here and be happy with it. So let's just try to see if that can happen. And then if it does halt to the upside or something like that, we will still be in. So let's start to take some out. I've given this enough time now. It's 9:42. I really thought it would get going. And here we go. We are coming back up to the upside. So you could be foolish sometimes, but I think this time we should take a little bit of money out. As we let it go all the way up, it was $5 in the money and we didn't take it, so or $4. So let's see what we could do now if it gets back up to 850.
So you'll see me out of snap again. Went for the long one more time at 14. It got to 14.10 as I said, and then the stop out from taking at 1-to-1 at that first 10-cent move, then I'm giving it to that 90 level. It's now in the midst of a deeper pullback, so I wasn't really looking short Snapchat today, so we'll let that one go. The initial breakout was obviously the better trade, but it's happened today. Ooh, yeah, you shook me a little bit there, Intel. Now, this one is a case of bad stop placement.
All night long, or?
Well, no, I misplaced the stop. So the stop, generally speaking, I'm never going to put a stop at a 45 even level. You'll hear me say it time and time again, give it a few extra cents. I actually put it at 1, apparently. And I stopped out. I tried to jump right back in underneath 94.95. I wasn't quite fast enough, but Intel's absolutely flushing. You're going to be able to see the flush happen as well in Rivian across the board, these EVs. Not so good to the downside. Just the reminder of the day, NIO is now it bounced off 713, so it could make a second test of that $7 level that we've been talking about for ad nauseum. It's not there yet, but I feel like the second time it gets there, it gets pretty spicy. Snowflake, it was a good breakout at 90. It was pretty clean to the upside. It could not hold on to the 190 level. It's still heading to said downside. And now for a new one, Meta, which is not a New Zealand stock, but when you hit enter too fast,
No, it is.
sometimes
It is actually now.
I know we have every single market out there, and on our
We've got
platform.
ADR.
So we just broke the low on Meta, so that just became interesting when it broke that same range from the afternoon. There's your top 334. There's your not a flat bottom break. It's just yesterday's low. If it cannot hold on to 330, suffice to say that is a big level for Meta, and we could go a heck of a lot further. You're beneath 16,000, so looking for setups on bottom breaks are going to be good. And I will be shorting a pop if I can get back into that Intel. I just want to get an opportunity for a good price there. But I got to be patient with it. The same thing with Rivian. I have to let that one come back into me if we're going to get it. I still want to be long Snapchat. It's just a matter of waiting for the next opportunity in Snap.
We have Chicago PMI coming out immediately in 5 seconds, so that should do something here. So let's watch out for this. I do have a new position. We are getting ready to get stopped out. 55.8 versus 40 something. So it looks like it's a big, well ahead here of the estimates on Chicago PMI. 55.8 versus 45.4. So 55.8 on the Chicago PMI, clean read versus 45.4. So, all right. I don't know. I thought, whenever you get a miss like that so dramatically outside, I thought that, might have moved the market a little bit more, but we do have a stop out here coming through for Microsoft if it does break through. See, watch this. We wrote down 378, that we like that as a long or as some support. But again, the market being below VWAP, the market's starting to head lower right now. Microsoft is actually, now that I look at this and the market heading back south side, and Microsoft's actually holding a bid, this could be the wrong thing to do on this stock. So let's be very, very careful. I am stopping out. We have one more fill to come very, very soon, hopefully. Upside. So we're going to watch out for this right now on this one. USO right now. I'm hearing something about Saudi Arabia right now looking to cut again. They talked about that yesterday. We saw a rally. They must want this crude price to go. Well, if they're trying to cut supply, I guess we should be going long right now on USO. But let's just see what happens right now as this market's dancing around. So there we go. USO. OPEC cutting. There's some news in my ear right now. So we'll find out some more details as that hits. Maybe Derek can have that. But right now, we did get more Microsoft short. So we're short here at 60. Our stop is O's. So 40 cents worth of risk here for Softy. And yeah, look, that USO, oops, that's not USO. This is USO. Looks like we might be in for a little bit of a move higher here. I'm going to take the long.
Yeah, so Meta did resolve underneath that 330 level. It's still battling, though. The lowest we got on the break was 75, so it's still holding on to 330. I might have to make 2 trades off of this, because if you look at the consolidation, you either give it to 331 or take 2 trades and the second one off the 331 level, as we are well underneath that 330. Right. 16,000 level on the futures. That does indicate a lot of weakness, but what is interesting is you are still holding highs. Snapchat it went to 75. It's right back to battling 14 even. If this can get back above 14 in this weakness, that would be a pretty good look. I want to fade Rivian if we can get into this. So we're into Meta. Rivian's bounce, it only bounced 15 cents. It is what it is. That's the first bounce. So if I'm following the stairs to the downside, then the first step would be here on Rivian. Waited for it to turn around somewhere to jump into the stair step down once it failed the level I like. So look short to 17 even, and then if it breaks 17, kind of play that by ear. You can always add underneath 17 if you want to, but the stop will be in front of VWAP, which is a little bit early for that, but it's also 17 quarter.
ADTX also just halted right now. Okay, so it looks like Microsoft does want to take out the top, but the thing is that not without us getting out. We did get some out. We got some out at 40, and then we got some out at 25s. So again, play the scalper game. It's only 9:48 right now. We still have a pretty much 80% of this trade on, so maybe a little bit less. But is what it is right now, 20 cents in the money. I'm going to take a piece out here at 50 if we can get it. There it is. So we got it. So that was a good idea. Let's just wait to see what happens now. I'm bidding 378. If this market continues to go down, I'm just surprised that Microsoft's holding up right now, to be completely honest with everybody. So let's just see if it continues to hold up. And if it does, we got to get out. Definitely shorting the wrong name, as Neil just mentioned. Meta breaking lower here.
Yeah, but it's holding the bottom.
Okay, so that's it. Okay, so a lot of them are holding right now. So that's going to be something interesting to go right now. We did OPEC. Okay, so OPEC Plus is agreeing to this 1 million cut per day barrels. Maybe it's just not as big as expected. So we just took a small position here at 65. If we break below this 40 area, then we're going to get out. That's sort of where we've been bouncing up. So I don't trade USO that much. I heard that, heard cut, went short. Obviously not right. Stick to what you're doing, and that's Microsoft. Microsoft right now 40 cents in the money. Tesla $2 in the money right now, and MINM still doing minimum gains right now, as you know, staring that in the face was definitely a mistake. But hey, you know what? We've refocused now, baby. So you know, Microsoft, we're making more money on Microsoft than we are on Minim. So it is what it is. But there it is. Come back in for Microsoft. Let's see if we could just get another out here. We already took a 50. We are bidding O's, did I say? Yeah. So we're bidding. Ooh, I got too many bids down there. Let's cancel one of them. 08 is where we're at right now. But you know what? What's the difference? Let's just take a fill right there. We'll take a 20. There it is. Cancel our 08. Take another fill on the downside. Now let's see if we can break. We talked about pivot points. We would look at those. The first R1 is 377.25. So we got a lot more to go before we even think about some sort of a resistance level, a support level. But I'm also looking at this from yesterday, 377.70 as a possible spot. But hey, like Neil mentioned there with Meta, or like what I was talking about with it, some of these stocks are bouncing off the bottoms here.
Yeah, no question about that. You are getting a bounce. Meta's still holding. It's about 330 and a quarter is where most of the volume's going off here, so it's not breaking that 50. Rivian's still at the lows. It's in the teens, but if it breaks a quarter, I want to get out. Because we're underneath 16,000, like, I'm looking for short setups underneath 16,000 at this point. Like, Snapchat was a thesis long, so I don't mind looking for a long in that, but everything else, I'm looking for another re-entry to some short trades. Just going over to Intel. It failed at 44.80 on a lower high. I want to play off that if I can. Let's zoom in a bit. Bad wick out there in Intel. I'll look back, and you can view tape later, but that's where everything's going to start for me. You know, the 45 level to want it short and not be able to hold on to it. You know, that you always have to examine that, but that's for another time. The next trade is looking off this pre-market lower high, seeing if I can get something in the 70s to work off of. Ooh, one broke up, one broke down. So Meta just broke back down to the low, whereas Rivian just broke up. What is Tesla doing? So Rivian just broke that quarter. Okay, that's probably a good out. Oh, Tesla's breaking back to 242. That'll be the reason. So I didn't made the stair step down. It broke the quarters. I'm just getting out. Doesn't matter. Like, VWAP this early in the day, I don't tend to use it that much. When it also happens to be like that quarter level, which was support in the afternoon, like, that's why I'm getting out. So we can still look for a short. It's just going to have to set up somewhere else on Rivian. And while we were Snapchat, it's really not dropping that much. Like, look at it.
They're holding.
Well, it just tried to break 14 again, but that's a rejection of the 14 level. Oh, that's kind of bearish.
I'm trying to get long.
I don't want to be that early. It's like changing my opinion about Snapchat, but you just failed the lower high. You failed the 14. Let's go back to it needs to have buyers above 14. That's what I said at first. I need to see buyers above 14, or I'm not getting back into this one. Gonna have to watch out for that. Pan W is an absolute monster. You're right. Morgan Brown, look at Amazon.
Of Pan W.
Sure, I'm looking for opportunities for short setups that aren't the two things that I'm in. That's actually strong. Relatively speaking, on that little pullback, you're still trying to make higher lows on Amazon. You fail 146. Then you can think short. But 146, it's trying to hold on to it. Just look at your 15-minute chart. Double bottom yesterday. Also throw back into Tuesday. That's Tuesday's low. Amazon strong over 146. Let's go to Adara.
And one name of note here, Victoria's Secret, VSCO jumping up 10+% after earnings. Keep an eye on VSCO, guys.
All right. SNGX, Solgenex also halted right now. All right, so you know, Microsoft, as the market moves up, you might have heard me say when
$1
Neil was talking about some stuff there, I was like, oh man, I feel like we got to get long something right now because the market could have just based again downside, right? And so you're just boom, boom, back up. Let's see if we could take this. We're trying to get back to 16,000. I always feel like, and again, when you're scalping, you know what? Maybe we could take, I don't know. Let's try a little bit more here. This is going to break higher. We just got some 90s there. I don't know if this is going to go on softy or not. So let's just see where we can go. We're short right here at 82. I mean, I think this is well worth.
My gut says the shorts are getting shaken out right now.
Yeah, and I'm about to get shaken out right now too.
But they're not wrong because we're under 16,000. Where's 15.98? I'm just thinking,
hold a little
I'm
bit
just thinking
more.
out loud.
Maybe I can, yeah, I can see, but I don't. I mean, that's what we have to do around here. Sometimes, you know, we don't know exactly what to expect, and if it blasts up, it blasts up. Maybe let's give we can give this even a little bit more room. I just, if we're going to be wrong, let's be wrong for a minimum amount right here to the downside, right? And so let's try to
that punt all day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking minimum profits on that one as well. All right, let's just see what happens. Let's see if we can get a fill downside right now. Did I just get something there? No, I did not. I thought I put a bid. I did, 378.60. So let's see if we can get that right now back in. So just taking a little bit of short there, back in right now. Well, here it comes. Darn it. See, we were just at 62 and didn't fill us. So let's go. We'll put a bid at 70. There we go. We get a fill right there. There we go. Now we're starting to drop down. Let's go. Let's hit those sirens. Come on, Microsoft. You can do it. Back down to the downside as we just shorted 90s. And there it is right there. I'm sure Patrick has this. Nice move back down into the downside right now for Softy as we'll put another 50-cent winner on the tap and see if we can still make this move down, Neil. I'm with you. I think the shorts should be fine, but weak hands always prevail in my case, it seems like. And we'll just get another piece out here because is it really weak hands if you see something and you change your opinion?
Taking profits is not weak hands,
Right.
it's just following a plan. As long as your plan works,
Yes.
then just don't worry about it. Nobody ever gets the entire move. And anybody that always gets the entire move is making the move.
It's a fugaze.
So worry about, like, if you are on a Goldman desk and are so big that you are controlling the stock, then you can always have top wick and bottom wick because you sold so many shares at it. But all we've done is bounce off of support, 15.95, and not get back to 16,000. So as far as I'm concerned, red stays red. Okay, whatever. Meta just, no, it doesn't really
Red
make that
stays red. Yeah, I like that.
Sure.
The stock is red. It's going to stay there.
Okay, anyways, that was a bad
It's
one.
not true, but it's not a bad pun. It's not, it's
better
not
ones
even really
than
a
that.
pun, is it?
It's not really a pun. I was trying to think of a pun, but it is what it is. I couldn't come up with one. Meta just took out another low. So
That was not punny.
I took more to the downside as that is working more clean than Rivian. That was definitely more punny. And I like that one. Oh, we have something for that.
There's a slow clap somewhere. That's what we got to have. We got to make that like a slow clap for when we do stupid, dumbass
No,
things.
what I want is see this thing.
Oh, yeah, where's the hi-hat?
It doesn't actually have
There's no
drums.
graphic.
There's no graphic for it.
Fabian.
You guys can hear it, but you can't see it, which is half of the fun when you do that. So Rivian, I jump back in when I get wicked out. So I'm still working off the same level. Yesterday's bottoms, short into it. It just wicked that to 30s. So I'm back in under VWAP, giving it just above 30, a couple of cents above. And it's not actually at 30, but it's a couple of cents off of that level. If it breaks out, it breaks out, and we'll have to live with it. Probably a good idea to get something out of that meta just now, but thank you for pointing us toward that Amazon. If we break back above 16,000, this looks decent above 146, but it's still going back and forth off that level. Ooh, that's your chart.
Yes, it is.
And like if we come to mine for a second, if we break back above 14.6, Amazon is right at yesterday's support, holding a higher low. I think that can be a nice little breakout play above that number. But if we're underneath 16,000, I still want to stick with the idea that we're looking for some shorts. What else we got? The ADTX, it's been asked about a couple of times. Like, it's trying to hold the bottom. This is the one that just fell, and just halted to the upside and is trying to get going again. The whole price was $5. So if it takes out the high, that's $5.30. Secondary push, give it back into the halt. That's not bad. Like, it gives you like in the 30s. You can stop it at 5 even. I don't really mind that to usual. Taz, red stay red. You make my day. Appreciate the super chat. I try to come up with the worst possible lines and puns. Like, that's my mission. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, what is the dumbest thing I can say live on air? And then we'll just sort of go with that. Hopefully, whatever. I actually do try to come up with really, like, what is the worst ridiculously horrible line that you can do Leslie Nielsen style. Like, that's the whole thing. I like bad puns. I think bad puns are hilarious. But let's go back into the markets here for a second because we're getting a bit of a bounce here. So I want to get to that Amazon.
Yeah, we just, I'm going to go over to Amazon as well. We'll slap a little bit of a fail on that last move there for Microsoft. Although, see, maybe we just got run a little bit. Let's try it one more time here. We knew that our stops were probably going to come into play a little bit there. So let's just try it one more time. I'm going to actually, because the market is pretty low right here, I'm going to give this to 380, honestly, on Microsoft. Like, I'm not taking a full position or anything like that just to see where we can go. Because if we do dip back in, we could take $1 on this. I mean, we've seen it get back down, and here it comes. It's trying to fall a little bit back in right now. I think you can give this one even to 381, 382. But again, I don't know if that's going to be the right thing. Oh, by the way, just sneakily right there, we just lost right there on CRM. So I went long 248. No, I just thought that, I said I was going to wait for a bottom. So I was thinking that 248 was going to be that bottom. So we were short. Actually, maybe I had to attest to Microsoft right here. We're just taking 50 cents now on this back part of Microsoft. Again, putting the name back into the green for us here for Softy. But it was just CRM. Again, liked the quarter, but I'm really glad that we're not stuck on this name. We did take a hit there. We lost a little bit more than a cup of coffee on it. I did like the name, but again, fell back in right there, starting to take out lows. Not take out lows, it is making lows right now on the day. So I don't, we bounced around 245 a little bit. I still have it up on the side here. I'm going to watch it. If we do see some sort of a based out action there for CRM, then we can go. I thought we saw it there at 248, 248.50, but once it broke that level, and we actually got a good fill. I think we got, where did we get? We got 85s. Not a great fill, but not horrible right there. Microsoft did fall in again, so we took some more fills there in the 50s. Let's see if this one wants to come back again. We just got another number there, pending home sales. U.S. pending home sales month over month, minus 1.5 versus minus 2. Not sure if Adara has this, but let's go over to the desk.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, pending home sales did come in negative 1.5 compared to the forecast of negative 2.5 expected, so slightly higher than expected, but lower than the previous of 1% here. The market itself here are the Qs, trading down a little bit as of after getting this news here, so keep an eye on that, just slightly negative on the day so far. In terms of stocks that are moving to keep an eye on, MRO, along with a lot of these other energy names, up significantly. MRO up 3% after the news of OPEC agreements with regards to oil cuts. So keep an eye on all of these oil names, especially MRO, very strong today. Also of note, GME down about 4% after gaining 36% over the last 2 days. Definitely headed to the downside now, so keep an eye on that name as well. Brought to you by Surge Trader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million and keep up to 90% of the profits. The program has simple rules and no time limits. Just go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
Shoot.
Damn it, Microsoft.
As we were just talking about oil names, it's blanking me. Oxy was making a purchase today. Oxy's buying somebody. It was like it's a Texas producer. Someone in the chat's going to figure this out for me before I can Google it or something like that. So Oxy should be in play. Rivian, look, that's a stop out. That's a re-entry on the wick. So I did take the hit first on Rivian. It's now starting to come back into the low. If we get to 17 even, as I said, profits into 17. And then worry about a 17 break later. Ooh, I don't want that at 9s. I wanted to bid 6s there, so I'm gonna bid at 6. I already have a bid in front of 10s, gonna bid in front of this 5 level at 6 even, as red stays red.
Yes.
Now you're gonna have to hear that for the rest of the day, because I don't have any, what the heck is that?
What happened?
What's up with that? Did I do that?
You must have done that.
That's not what I meant to hit. I meant to hit that. That says market red, right?
That is what it says.
Okay, it says market. The button says market.
Didn't you make that button?
Yeah, but it worked yesterday. Okay, anyways, I don't know. Thank you guys for taking that off. I'm not gonna hit my stream deck
What's up with the Chilean
I have no
nightmare
idea
over
what's going on. I don't know if anything's gonna work. But the 45 levels fail on Intel. The market's heading lower. Red is staying red and all that good stuff. The market is a short until we speak. Like, is any of this gonna work? Like, let's go with
this.
Does that work?
Oh, sorry.
No, this okay.
That was a bear.
That was the bear.
Okay, so you got a bear coming through there. And it's a good thing we do because we got another dollar club, and it's a good thing that we reloaded that stupid Microsoft as it broke 5 cents above our level, and now we're $1.40 in the money on Mr. Softy. And I told you I would do some work on Microsoft, and it is my #1 stock this month out of all the mega cap tech stocks that I trade. So there it is right now. Microsoft is part of the reason why I wanted to look at it. I did the research in the midday during the midday yesterday and was able to find that. So look at Microsoft. Huge move back down to the downside. We're still him on this name, and we like it. $2 as well in the money right now as we ring some cash registers, hopefully for Teslas. That was a good reload situation as well. But the thing is like, you know, regardless, like my wife just sends me this. Like, this is the reason. Obviously, this is us getting our Christmas tree. They had some pre-cut ones. We say n'est pas to that right there as they flash out right there. But shout out to my kids and to Marissa. Thank you for sending that to me as we get more motivated here to make more money. But the market is our boss right now. So we got to wait to see what's going on with that. We are now $1.20 in the money here, $2 in the money on Tesla. And I almost forgot about this minimum, but it's still there. It's not really moving at all. I did put an offer right here at $8. So if we can get back up to $8, fine. But like honestly, I guess there's been so much more attention to other names here today. That ADTX, I think, was a halter at some point today, just once. Okay, but another name up 41% right now. There's the halt right there. And see, even after the halt, slow down. You know, not much is happening, but that's why we just stay in the pocket, right? We trade big cap names. So here's Microsoft $1.50. Here's Tesla $2.50, and Tesla's about to break that bottom, as is the market. So we've been net short here today. The only long we had was CRM, you know, and we got out of that way. And the funny part is, look at U.S. oil. It's, you know, bounces again. Like I don't trade it that much, but there's the 200 period moving average, and there's those bottoms. It hits it to the T, and then right back up again. So our long would be in the money now, 10 cents, but we did lose 15 cents on that trade already. So all right, let's get another piece out here on Softy as this market's looking for a bounce.
Show you why. I had a trailing stop, but I'm now just going to get out after a 328 bounce on Meta. Just zooming back out so you can see it. This is their double top, or the top in the recent move, 343. So when I look at that as a high, okay, well, last time it pulled back off that high, that's 328. Clear bottom, ran away from it. That's the support level. So when I take that trade there, I'm trading it to here. That's the key price level. Get out, then look for the next opportunity. If we bounce off this, I can still jump back into the short, but it's all about the why. Like it can look like, well, you just like 328 because it's a round number. No, I peel back the chart, and that's going to be the setup for me. Even if I was short here, I still would have gotten some out there, and then would have gotten some out at 328. So I'm now all out of Meta. End up getting the 30s. So round trip, we're getting like a 330 entry, one fill above it at the 30 level. So that last fill will be like will be 2. And Intel still chilling out around 44.5. It's trying to bounce off those lows, but I'll just look for the stairs. Underneath 45 even, I want to try to stay net short on Intel and look for opportunities to get back in. Rivian, similar story as that heads back to the downside. Was able to get the flat bottom break and then short it as well off of that lower high. As long as it holds on to 17, it's got a chance, but if 17 breaks, I think it's at the quarters right quick. And I'm holding out some for that 1675. But until proven otherwise, this market is going to the downside. It has been flush city. As far as I'm concerned, the trend is your friend until the end when it bends, and that's an if it bends. Even Snapchat. Okay, thank goodness. If I had jumped back in Snapchat one more time at 14, see, it would have just been a hit. It cannot hold. There's no buying above 14 even. So I want to be long the stock, but I only want to be long if there are buyers showing me strength above 14 even. Once that happens, I can jump back into this. Until then, you just kind of back off and then on to the next trade or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah. Just waiting. There's something about Bank of America happening right now? Something about FINRA. $30.
What?
Wow, for BAC. No, it's nothing. Just some news about it. I mean, again, some of these bank names have just been absolute fire as well. Like, we could sit here and talk all we want about the Mag 7. I mean, that's really been hot. Obviously, with chip names sort of leading the way as we go on. Not even really. I mean, Microsoft, I guess anything AI related seems to be leading the way. But how about banks? I mean, this has been a monster rally as we get, the potential, loosening obviously there of the Fed, and it just keeps on making these moves to the high side. I mean, where's JP Morgan? Is that back to 150 yet? Like, this just shows you how much, 155, like, these are things I've never even looked at these in a while, and there goes the, like, look at this. I mean, you want to talk about Snapchat? I mean, Snapchat as a percentage is way higher, but, the banks
are strong.
There's 2 red days this month. There's 2 red days in the last 20-something days to the upside, or maybe 3 red days. Nice moves to the upside here as we keep on going. Are we getting a Cybertruck? That's where the vote is at.
That cannot be. Okay.
I just put yes, but I mean, I'm not. So
well, I mean,
we'll just see. Maybe it's more like, or do you want to get a Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Most people aren't actually getting one.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's a very small number of people that are getting one today. Let's just say.
Yes.
But yeah, the poll should just. I would answer it as if are you interested in getting one? I think that's the more interesting thing. So anyone that's in the chat, I voted no, but if I get a Tesla, I feel like that's going to be. My wife already wanted us to get a Tesla last time, and I think it's we'll be looking for a sedan. I'm not getting the truck. I think it looks a little interesting is the word I'm going to use because my mother told me to be polite. My daughter loves it. She's like, oh yeah, because she's like, because think about it. If you like Minecraft, she's like, ooh, it's the Minecraft car. So she's 6, turning 7. So obviously, her idea is it just looks cool. I'm like, no, we're not getting that, sweetheart. It's not happening.
Yeah.
There's the countdown, says 5 hours, but this market has plenty enough going on. Ooh, the nice little bounce here in Intel. It's getting pretty close to what I think can be a reload zone. Right back into VWAP at our entries. Show me a curl that we can fade into. So once it makes a bit of a top, can try to short it on the way back in. I'm looking for something underneath 14.8. That would be the entry spot for me. Oh, Amazon on this bounce. I want to double check back in on Amazon. Nope, can't hold. Look at this. It's the same thing as Snapchat. I want it to be strong. It gets above 146, and look at the rejection. I mean, I suppose you could just short it. You could also just be shorting 146 and giving it to 146.20. I'm looking for it to hold 146 and break out the top, and then I can go long 25 with a 30-cent stop. That's what I'm looking to have happen, but the market is saying short the stock, Neil.
Yeah. Market, like I said, the market is really our boss here. All right, Tesla $2. We're still waiting. I mean, I told you we're trying to offer that minimum at $8 right now. Let's look for something else. Intel's an interesting one to me right now. You're in it too. I mean, you're in the same price that I was thinking, or same place I was thinking was going to be a short in and around here. I mean, we're just bouncing off of VWAP again right now, back up to the upside as Intel. I mean, the more stocks I look at, the more it's like all of these stocks seem to be on another level right now. And I mean, look at Intel. We know about Intel. We know about all the chip names, but it's when you look at some. This is a V shape. Obviously, we don't have the other part of the V immediately. This is overextended. That's kind of this move that we've been seeing right now in the market has been absolutely unbelievable. And some of these names just continue to climb higher and higher and higher. Intel today being red, kind of following the market. Again, just trying to see what's going on down here. We may have based out a little bit at 15.9. We can go over the NASDAQ just real quick and have a quick look at it. Just bouncing off some of these bottoms. That's 11,590, right? So we've seen these bottoms here before. That's, 11. 15.9. So those are levels that we bounced off on. And then if we do take 15.9, which I'm hoping for, holding these shorts, then the next stop is 15.8. And I know it just seems obvious that we're just trickling down every 100 points. But, I mean, there's the hold at 16.1 right here. There's 16.2. There's 15.9. So we almost stopped at 15.9, almost exactly 15.970. If we take that out, then yeah, the next levels to me would be back into here on a dramatic move down to 15.8. So I think there's an opportunity here to win on the short if you hold it. But again, the market is kind of bouncing now off that 15.9. So in what was a super strong month, the strongest month in a year, you could see a year and a half right now for the market. I could see some sell-offs happening into the end of the year. GameStop, I'm still bidding 15, just in case anybody was interested in that.
Fabian just tested that button and says it does work, but you saw me, like I hit the one that
You must have the wrong codes in there.
No, but I sent him the code that it said.
Okay.
So anyways, maybe I'll restart my stream. It doesn't really matter.
Nope.
But Rivian, Amazon, that's what I wanted to talk about. Amazon broke that consolidation higher, immediately made a rejection of the 40 level. I do not want to turn sticky keys on, Microsoft. Should definitely. Yes, I thought I had that disabled. That's a dangerous setting on Windows. That's not good. You never want that to have happen, and your keyboard gets locked up. So not good. But if we get past the 50 level, I want to make sure we can get into this high. So I just scalped some out on the initial move. I'll look for a reload off 146, looking for us to get back up to the top. But this is a counter trend trade to the overall market, right? So yes, it's set up for some strength, but want to make sure we book some profit on that and I can get back in. If it doesn't hold 146, I think I have to get out of that one. Ooh, Intel just broke that 80 level.
They're all going.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going. The only thing that actually I liked long when I was scanning stocks was it was just that Amazon trade. And I didn't even come up with that. Like someone just yelled, "Look at Amazon." Looked at it and saw a long opportunity. So thank you to whoever put that in the chat, really. But that's me getting out of Intel. It could not break lower off the bottom, but I'm not holding this into 45. I'm getting out when it breaks 80 and then looking to make a trade off the 45 level. This is suddenly looking pretty strong. And if the market is bouncing, then I want to have another look at Snapchat. Ooh, still making lower highs. Okay, Snapchat's going to have to wait, unfortunately. If we're fading something underneath 16,000 or push back to it, Meta might be setting back up at 330. So that will set us up for another trade. I'm just going to see. Now it works.
There you go.
Market's still red. I did say red stays red. Except for Amazon.
You did. The market is staying red for sure for right now. I just don't know if these are the right reload levels yet. I mean, we talked about possibly testing 16,000 here. I did put some more Tesla on, but for me, Tesla was always going to be waiting anyways. I mean, my stop is up here at 244. We've taken money on this name. We'll see. Actually, my stop is at 245. Maybe we have to reassess that in case this market really gets going one more time here. But yeah, so there it is. The 200 periods. Yeah, actually, that still is 245. What am I talking about? All right, so we're still going to wait for 245, so we're in the right spot. We just wanted to reload where we were before. So let's wait to see 244.50, 245. I mean, we got to break above there. So let's take some more short in and around that level. And then if we break back above, we break back above. And unfortunately, that is what it is on that one. CRM, if this market's going to continue to rally, I mean, this name just keeps on getting hit. Downside, right? And that's what we talked about with such a great earnings report. I mean, I don't think any of us were here saying, let's short CRM.
Nope.
Yet it's down $8, so, or $6.
Well, what's
so
like
again, that's just something that happens. And, despite, again, what we were thinking was a great quarter, getting hit, profit taking back down into the downside there for Salesforce. And I'm sure if we go through the report, there'll probably be something that people are pointing at, but let's wait to see what happens there with this.
Well, you know what? That's what they do. It's like,
yeah,
okay, so if the stock goes up on the day, then you say these are the good things in the report. When the analysts go through it, and like this is the reason why it went up, and then you pick out all the bad things in the report, and if the stock goes down, then you just say those things, which is always a fun game. As a trader, it's like, yeah, just it did what it did, and the price action is what it is. I think that's what we want to focus on. So like I can think it's a great quarter, but like who the hell cares what I think? I don't care. Like as a trader, I don't care what I think about the quarter when you're trading it. Because if you care too much, then suddenly you start trading your own book. I like the company, but if it's going down, then it is what it is. I'm back into Meta for okay, this is probably going to...
This market is rallying.
I just got back into this thing, and it looks like it does not want to hold this local level here. So I'm giving it to the quarters. Yeah, but it's looking pretty strong. I just took another exit on Amazon in front of 146.50, and I feel like that was the wrong decision. So there's the wick high on Meta, which I probably should have waited for an entry, but I'm in it anyways. So I can't change that. Intel is blowing through 45. So this is suddenly looking strong. Remember, 45 is a big level on the daily. If Intel makes a fresh high off yesterday, that's 45.35. If it breaks 45.35, I'm not thinking short. I'm thinking long on Intel if it breaks out that price. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
forecast, up about 22% right now. Trading up earlier today following news that it will be releasing or launching a new vehicle at a United Nations related climate change summit. Keep an eye on this name. Definitely trading to the high side right now, guys.
All right,
everybody's favorite EV company.
Definitely mine.
Well, I mean, to me, it's like a very close second to Mullen. Like, I mean, Mullen, actually, you know what? No, maybe Mullen 1, maybe Polestar 2, VinFast 3. Maybe put Tesla down there at like 74 or something like that. I'm kidding. That's my reverse order, actually. If I thought about it, which I have not. I have not thought about that. I'm just joking around. So I'm into Meta, Intel. Yeah, we're talking about Intel. If it breaks the high, I actually would take a breakout off this level. I didn't, just to finish the thought there. If we break out that double top from yesterday on Intel, I actually go into a long trade, in my opinion. So if we break that top, I'm going long. If we get to that high and start turning around at the quarter, I think you can short it with like 10 to 15 cents worth risk. But I'm back into Meta. I didn't reload Rivian. As on the 15, just showing you the 15 so you get an idea of the level and why it matters at 17.25. I was waiting for it to turn around again off this level. We just wicked 16,000 on the futures. I won't ask you to take my word for it. We just tagged 16,000 and are starting to come back in off of it. If that breaks out, you can more or less, you're squeezing some shorts that got trapped on this early move. But until that happens, I still want to look short in the names that are setting up for it. Because that's going to still be Meta, maybe on Intel. Rivian is still pretty much setting up here. I just got the reload on Rivian, and I might have to get out of that Amazon long. It's already starting to pull back, so maybe it wasn't that bad getting some out in front of that 50. I'd like to see how it resolves around VWAP and 146. If the buyers come right back in, this is a good one. And if 16,000 breaks to the upside, I think I want to be adding to Amazon here. It's showing some signs of relative strength. What else is relatively strong here? Luisa saying NVIDIA.
That makes sense.
Oh, Blue Ocean. No. NVIDIA, come on. One more time. No, that's not that strong. I'm just looking at the level 2. As I wait patiently, okay. PC load letter.
There we go.
1%, that's not looking strong at all. So it's still stair step to the downside. I think the chips, yeah, they're still weak. That's not the one. But if you can look for shorts in this stock, I think. That's what it looks like to me anyways.
We did get a reload here with Softy, so that's going to be a good one there. We just reloaded this rate there at 379.40, now 50 cents in the money. So of course we're going to take a piece, but our average price is only 379.10. So we just took an 80 fill, so that was 30 cents. So let's see if Microsoft can get back in to the downside. All right, we're now ready for a small cap recap. I'm going to go with Adara.
Definitely some interesting small cap runners right now, including SNGX, Sologenics. This one has secured FDA clearance for a ulcer-related treatment, up about 300% right now, but it has been halting a lot. Watch out for that. Next, we also have SWTX. Yesterday, we had 2 price target raises from H.C. Wainwright and Goldman, trading at about 20% to the upside right now, guys. Last but not least, NINM. This is the biggest small cap running today so far, up about 680% right now, guys. Keep an eye on these names.
Minim still worth what apparently. I mean, sometimes those get like secondary rallies. You never really know. So we're starting to come back in. You saw the wick on 16,000 on that 15-minute chart. Like we're not resolved that that's going to be a green candle. It's still going to be red until proven otherwise. So here comes Meta. I have a bid in front of 329 quarters for the first out here, and then we'll see if we can't get something underneath that 329 next level. Although, okay, just seeing some buyers in the 30s. Maybe step that up by 10 cents and try and get the fill there. Intel might set back up underneath that 45, which is happening right now. And Manuel, thank you. I was about to go there, Manuel. Manuel in our chat. Snapchat is trying once again to get back above VWAP in 14. This is one where I'm watching very, very patiently. I've got a level 2 dedicated to it. It just needs to show me enough strength, and then I can get back into this one. I do not want to fight it underneath. I'm looking for that stair step up, and holding 14 is a big piece of that puzzle. Just to remind you, if you weren't watching in the morning show, Snapchat, it's trying to make a very large breakout. That's 13.65. That's about 14, that wick in there. It's got huge room on the daily chart to keep going. But if there's no buyers over 14, then it's not going to matter. Like, it's not going to make that second push unless the buyers step up to that even dollar level, which has yet to happen. So I got that fill on Meta. I bumped it up by about 10 cents to not take the quarter and get it in the 30s. Now I want to see it break 329 even and then work it down into what would be a double bottom. That's where the next bid's going to be for me.
All right, so we are definitely cashing in on the Microsoft short. That's going to be a good one. We just, taking some more fills down there. But this is the newest position, and we got to hit this because it is an alert right now because Tesla's starting to go right now back up to the upside. I'm going to give this to this 200 period, which is 45s. It's really going now. So just, we played, we knew that there was going to be, we didn't know this, but we know how Tesla acts off the open where you get some weakness and you can get an extended move down. That's why we sat there at 240 and took that $3 move. So right now we are back into it, but it is starting to extend a little bit higher than I sort of thought it would. We're bouncing off 16,000 right now. I mean, obviously if I thought that this level would have held, we wouldn't have taken the short, but now that it bumps up, breaks through and trying to test the 200 period, this is going to be one last little attempt at a move back in on the futures. And then obviously if this can take it out, I mean, I'm waiting at 240, 350 to see if we can get 50 cents. Well, we're out of it, but off this bottom because right now we're starting to make it a new high basically in Tesla, right? I mean, that's these pre-market levels. It's also supported by that 200 period moving average. So we'll see if it can work. And it doesn't look that crazy here on a bigger level, right? So we'll have to watch out to see what's happening right now with Tesla making a move back in. And then on the disappointed stock of the day, to be honest with you, I mean, you can always pick your poison with any of these ones, but what about Ford? I thought Ford had a good chance
Down
today. It started to be up, and then I was like, hey, what about if we break through 11? Then maybe there's something there. But as you can see right now, it doesn't seem like Ford wants to go to the upside here. There's some news right now about Disney as well coming through, so we'll wait to hear about that. But let's just see what's happening. They're just Trian and Nelson Peltz talking right now about this name, so you can see Disney starting to make moves back down as well. All right, Microsoft still in the pocket. We're still short this one. This is 30 cents in the money, and this is 50 cents out of the money. Let's see if Tesla can make this move back in for us now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to cheer for Tesla because I have Rivian and on sympathy. The good thing about, the potential good thing about Rivian is, in theory, the Cybertruck doing well, in theory, is not the best thing for Rivian. So it can go down because it's following Tesla, but then it could go down if things are good for the Cybertruck. And so as long as it's beneath resistance, I kind of like that to the south side. Meta's starting to work, but I just looked at GM back underneath that 32. So double top failing the same high as yesterday. Essentially, look at this double top yesterday, 32.25, double top 32.25. I don't have to tell you that makes it a gigantic level. And then you throw to the daily chart, look at 32 on the daily. If this takes out 32.25, you go long. But if it gets up there again, I'm going to short this level. 2 days in a row, the same double top in the morning. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
Yeah, some updates on Disney right now, sinking a little bit here on news that X users are now sharing reports of or photos of canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions in response to Elon Musk's comments yesterday at the DealBook Summit, basically calling out Bob Iger with regards to advertising on X. Keep an eye on that. Also news regarding earlier today with Nelson Peltz vying for 2 board seats with Disney. Disney definitely one to watch right now, guys.
Yeah, thanks for that, Adara. Good update on that one with Disney. So, watch it, days low. I mean, I already feel like we've missed an opportunity. We did get another piece out on, we told you we were sitting at 50. I moved it to 70. So we did take another piece out there on Softy. Hopefully that can be even a better call than we think it is right now. So let's see if that's, and I think Adara's mic is still live. All right, so let's go over to Disney quickly and find out right now what exact, wow, there it is, man. There's the report. There it comes down. Disney now falling pretty dramatically back into the downside now as this market does finally fade off 16,000. And that's why we're doing this, because guess what? It's almost another Dollar Club winner. Stay on the names and then just, it's pretty ridiculous. I don't think it was ridiculous, but Neil said it was when red stay red. I feel like there is a part to that where if a stock, is red, not necessarily on the day, but if you're feeling down on the stock, like not you are personally feeling down, not like you have relationship issues with the stock, but just like if your bias one way is red and the market is staying red and not much has changed in your stock, maybe that is an indication to maybe even put on more shares.
I just appreciate how much effort you're putting into making that bad saying
Oh,
sound.
no, it's a bad saying, but it's just, it's about the trend.
Yeah, the trend,
is
yeah.
what I'm trying to get at in a bad way is that watch out for the trend, because it truly is.
Your friend.
And when you need a friend, it is your trend.
Till the end when it bends. You guys can't
Where's
see.
the Obster?
Obi's
right now,
he's like right behind us.
Let's fire off a little bit of a hot dog cannon right now, because first of all, Microsoft, kablooey, down $1 right now. And Tesla made that move back in again. So here we go. We shorted against that 200 period. It's a move down in, and I don't know. I might just go get another coffee. I think we're getting lost in the shuffle here with that. I've had one coffee. Oh, I guess it was 1.5.
Well, it's 10.
This one's. If you want to go, Sharif.
Sharif just actually offered, but to get back
I'll
to
take a 1 milk, baby.
quickly get back to the market. This is still okay.
He
See,
takes it black.
the reason I said red stays
dude.
red was because of essentially the like on my 15-minute chart, it's like, okay, well, we're all red. And then when it tried to make a bounce, by the time you got to the end of the 15-minute candle, it still stayed all red candles. That's the reason I said that line. And when I said it, I was looking at the chart, and it seemed like a good thing to say. And then it was very confusing. But I did get that next fill on Meta out in front of the higher low, 328.5. So that's continuing to flush. It's basically just been one level, that 330 level. And I haven't really traded anything else. So wait for it to get to a key price, then trade it at that key price in the direction that you want to. If you like longs, then there were never a long off 330 for you to take. However, if you like longs, I do have one long position. It's that VWAP on Amazon. So I reloaded it at 10s. It's hanging on for dear life at that 146 level. This is for sure telling you, well, telling me anyways. Scalp into the range here. It's a 60-cent range to the top. Get what you can out of it, because this market wants to go in the other direction. Here is VWAP again on Intel. So Intel broke 15, got to 15, sorry, broke 45, got to 45.10. Underneath 45 again, short in front of 45 to the local high, 1-to-1s at VWAP, and then if it flushes the low of the day, I will put more respect on the low of the day, which I did not last time on INTC. That starts to come back into the downside. The short is just right today.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of which, if you're looking for relatively strong names, I saw this got put in the chat 3 times, and then I did not get over to look at it. You want to know what is relatively strong. If everything is weak, we showed NVIDIA looks down, the market is down, ARM is up 1%, and trying to put in a higher low. So I think you can put this into the other camp, which would be what are stocks that are relatively strong today, and if the market bounces, look for breakouts. 63 looks juicy. I'd like to see market strength going with it. It would be even better if it could take out this local high, but that's pie in the sky that it could take out 64.10. Let's get to crypto at the desk with Adara.
Yeah.
An update from Celsius, which was bankrupt right now. They're allowing certain crypto holders to withdraw up to 72.5% of their crypto holdings minus transaction fees. So some news for Celsius holders there post-bankruptcy. Bitcoin itself not doing too much right now. We're pretty flat in the day, just still kind of chopping and churning just below that 38,000 level. Bitcoin at, just 38,500, just above that, down to about 0.16% right now. Ethereum slightly positive, just above that 2,000 area. Everything else just slightly positive or negative. Not too much moving significantly right now for crypto, guys.
All right. Thank you, Dara, for that one. And that's it, right? I think it's very important that we keep understanding that with crypto, you want to wait for something to hit, right? So I think that was a good point that Dara just
bad news for this, though.
Brought up there at the end.
It hasn't happened.
What's that?
But when you see this on the chart, like 37.6, and this is a 15-minute chart here on Bitcoin, if you lose that level, or even like 37.5, it has been holding, and that would be a big one to lose the last couple of days. So I'm a little bit wary of that. Oh, Sharif, you're the man. Thank you, Sharif. Appreciate that. Just got a nice little refill on the cup of Joe. But I'm not saying it's going to break this level, but just watch out. If you're trading Mara, Riot, Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, whatever, just if it's related and you break that support level, that could be nasty. Technicals matter in BTC. I can't really speak for the other names, but every time I pull up a chart of Bitcoin, it's like, wow, technically this thing trades great. Like if you're into support and resistance, and I think, and people have said to me, if you're into Fibonacci's, we heard that yesterday, then you should be, Bitcoin is for you. So if you're a technical trader, why not? We're going to get it on the platform soon. It can't come soon enough.
Before we go to a dollar,
I'm just going to get some out of Amazon in this weak market.
Just before, because I just want to show people, because MINM.
Minimum.
That's right, MINM. Yes, I got it right. Is finally moving, and there it is right now. So let's go, man. Everybody that was like, oh my God, this stock is just like flushing on everybody. Hey, man.
But it's supporting that level.
Exactly. Just that's what I was going to get at. Just be patient with some of these stocks. And I don't normally trade these big low float. Here we go. The first halt of the day is happening as we speak right now on minimum. Is it going to? Oh, no. That happened before at 10.25. That's exactly what happened up here when we were like, oh, it's going to halt. It was probably the same price. So there it is. There's the reverse halt, fake halt, reverse the play back in. Now let's see what happens. It should still halt. Oh, there it goes. So now it's blasting a new level. The halt level must have been reset. So there it goes. It's a nice move back up to the upside. And please put the halt bands on this, because then I'd have a much better idea of where exactly we could halt. But right there it is. Minimum $3 in the money. Microsoft, $1 in the money. Tesla, we just took $1. Tesla, we just got filled at 243 flat. So let's see what happens. That's 75 cents. Let's see now what happens. Today is a good day. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now, P&L wise, although you're not really supposed to look at your P&L. Over to the desk with Adara.
Board CFO making some comments right now, just to be aware. Some comments including basically that the company doesn't see any remaining pent-up demand for combustion vehicles, so no pricing upsides. Quite a few comments coming there. They are trading down in the day right now. Also earlier today, they were on watch with regards to EBIT, adjusted EBIT predictions, so keep an eye on Ford right now. Definitely one to watch, guys.
I don't think so. And we're just sort of talking about like being able to see the halt bands. Like you can make estimates based on like 5%, 10%. Just know in like if in a 5-minute window, if it moves at 5 or 10%, you can sort of look at it and eyeball it that it hit a band. Intel just bounced off VWAP. I took another leg out there. This is looking somewhat strong. It's going to lend me right back over to Amazon, which is it just made another push into the high of the day. With the market trying to bounce again, I think this is the one. I want to stick with this. I want to stick with it to the long side. And just see, if we break out 16,000, I want to look for places to add to this. Because I think we have a good level. If you have a good level, you want to give it a chance to go. Meta, last time it did this, I actually got it all out. I didn't this time, and I'm asking myself, why didn't I? That is now you have a wick bottom through that 328. And starting to look pretty darn strong here. So I'm going to go with the gut. The gut's telling me, you make a double bottom like that, liquidity grab underneath, and then hold the biggest, strongest like green candle of the morning, and then try to break out 29. I'm just going to get out. If it gets back up to 330, I can try to get back into the trade. If it ultimately fails 328, there's room below. And there's a lot of room below if it can fail that level. So I don't want to turn a good day into a bad one. Like if it breaks 328, you got room to 325 half. So there's always a chance to get back into this. If I just got shaken out of Meta, well, we got out before and found our way back into it. Right, so I was patient enough to wait for it to get the same entry. If that ends up being a bad exit, fair enough, and then we move on to the next. Rivian has never really been all that great for the short. There were a couple of chances. First short too early, stopped out. Then we shorted it off that quarter level. That's been good, but you've got higher lows into the same top, which last I checked was an ascending wedge, which I learned about on our Learn to Trade segment. Well, I knew it before, but I heard about it again on Learn to Trade segment. Ascending wedge into a flat top, that could easily break out. And with Tesla showing some signs of strength as well, I don't need Tesla turning green on me and then breaking out on Rivian. So my stop's above that 30 level.
Yeah. So we made a mistake there. It didn't cause us anything. We're just not short again. I didn't even realize Tesla just made a move right back up into that same spot that we just shorted it again. I was looking at my net and I'm like, I just said I was at a high spot there, and then all of a sudden we gave some back, and I was like, it's Tesla, because that started to go up to the upside. But I just want to alert someone to a new trade. You might see a new one on, so let's go. Let's hit this guy. It's GameStop. It's near 15. Paying up a little bit for it. I am sitting down there at 15.05 on that. Thanks, Sharif, for the refill there. So I just punched a small amount. I'm still waiting closer to $15. And then I want to give it, I mean, again, if we're going to look at this stock in a serious matter, because we're getting down to the levels that we sort of thought about, 1480, you know, down into here. We did wick lower. What is that, 65, something like that? That's 71. I don't even really want to play around with any of the wicks. Like, if we can break back below 15, 1490, something like that, that's probably good enough. Because if you're going to sit here and I'm going to try to capture the absolute tops or bottoms of something, that's going to be hard to do, as we've said on this program numerous times. So let's wait to see what happens right now on that one. Minimum is still there. We are bidding right now. I'm going to take a piece out on Microsoft right here, right now. I was bidding 377.60s, but there you go. We just cracked through 378 and held. So let's take another piece out. This is $1.20 in the money. So that's going to be, again, something that we should probably respect. Tesla trying to break lower. I don't have any bids on that one. Someone said in the chat, actually, is that a lie? I do have 241 and quarter. Someone in the chat was just like, Tesla's a roller coaster today, and yeah, it is, but all aboard. I'm down for that. So let's wait to see where we go now on said roller coaster. I like the stock here. I think there's a good opportunity for this name to fall back in, but maybe I'm being silly.
Market's tanking it.
Yeah, waiting down there for 241. Market is damn well tanking, and we're making some money now, baby, as Microsoft hits that level, and there it goes, another move down, and then secretly we just lost again on CRM because I thought we'd have a level again there, and we didn't. This was a quick one, though, man. This is a 30 in and an out at O's, 30 cents on small shares there, but the market be tanking, and there it is, man. Put Tesla back into the dollar club and smoke it, because that's what's happening right now. Tesla back in here. Bounce off. You know what? VWAP is right there, man. I'm going to put a bid at VWAP.
So that was close. That basically, you would have seen me in Rivian long for a split second. That's because it hit 17 even, and I actually had the wrong amount of shares at the bottom, so I immediately reversed out of a short into a long. I punched it out for a loss of very, very quickly, just punch out. I do not want long on Rivian. It fell right back into the 17 level. If it breaks 17, we'll work back into it. Amazon, this is why you have a stop, baby. So it kept bouncing off 146. It could not hold on to it. That local bottom was 80. I got out. It looks like a short now. Intel obviously broke down as well, so that's starting to work. But forget about that for a second. I go back over to Meta, which is now through that 328. Looking for the next leg to the downside. Like I said, I got out of Meta. Look for the next place to get back in. And Snapchat, very, very. It was holding 14, so it broke 14. Buyers above. There was some support there at 14 even on the way back in. I grabbed it. It couldn't hold VWAP, so once again, Snapchat fails. That's the long I started with. And sometimes the best trade's a breakout trade. You never really get something very clean, but the buyers were there above 14, but this market is again heading lower. So as I said, red till we're not. And that's the one thing that's been true the entire morning is there's always been a short that you've been in. Like the long's been in and out, opportunities, but the short, there's always been at least something to the short side, which is continually working. I feel like if Rivian can't hold on to 17, this gets pretty nasty. I'm going to zoom out the chart so you can see. Underneath 17, yikes. You could easily fall another 80 cents here. But there's a big bid here, so let's see if it holds on.
Okay, I mean, all is well, so everything's fine. I don't really know what else to talk about. It's 10:40, but there is one thing that we need to talk about always every day, and that's going to be what is for lunch. Because the thing is that every single day this week, I was not here on Monday when it was Nashville hot chicken sandwich. And right now today, oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Okay.
Shrimp?
If you like chicken. By the way, Tesla right now is, hold on a second.
I think it was the day we had
we need to maybe have a $2 club winner right now.
Years ago.
Tesla is absolutely tanking right now. Today's menu is Korean barbecue chicken. I mean, that sounds good. With vegetable fried rice. Sounds pretty good as well. So we'll wait to see.
Don't mind that.
Oh my God, I already know what tomorrow is. It's right on the board. Okay. Anyways, there goes Tesla. Let's go, man. Awesome.
Awesome.
250. Now in the money for Tesla, as again, man, just stick with your guns. That's it. I just feel ridiculous that we didn't get reloaded there, and honestly, I missed it. That is my bad right down there. But hey, this is not my bad. If this continues to go down, it's going to be a good one. As we said, let's watch out for Tesla. Tesla, $250 in the money. Microsoft, $160 in the money. Minim, $2 in the money. Minim also went $350 in the money just now. Went up to $10 and stopped. Everything is all good, baby. As is GME right now, breaking through 15. Alert, alert, alert. Let's go, Apes. Let's get GME going back
15.
up to the upside, hopefully, right now for GameStop. All right, it's Adara. She's at the big screen this time. I like.
A couple of sectors standing out as notably strong right now, including finance, lots of strength here, a little bit of strength in health technology. Energy minerals definitely one to note, as we do have the OPEC decision. So that's very strong right now. All these energy mineral names, MRO definitely one to note specifically within that. UNH also strong within health services as well. In terms of weakness, a lot of weakness within some of these chip names here, including Broadcom and NVIDIA in electronic technology. Tech services also has some weakness from Google and Meta to keep an eye on right now, but CRM very strong after earnings. Also one sector to definitely keep your eye on as the day unfolds is consumer durables, with Tesla, the Cybertruck launch, and some Elon Musk comments to keep an eye on. Also Ford CFO making some comments right now as well, so keep an eye on consumer durables, guys.
Oh,
yeah. So look, CRM's up 6%, but CRM actually just hit the lows. So like remember, percentage up is from the close the day before. So it is trending to the downside. I got back into Rivian. I got out short in front of 17, and when it broke 17, I jumped back in. So you miss out on about 4 to 5 cents worth of trade in there to see if it bounces off to 17 even. But I was able to get 98s and 99s short. I've already gotten some out of the 99s. I got 98 quarters in average price. I have a bid out in front of 1680. So just jump right back in when it fails that 17 level. But this has been a rollover kind of day, and it's been a rollover kind of name. The market continues to be that to the downside. We still don't have on the 60-minute. Obviously, we're not going to have a green candle on the 15-minute. The NASDAQ is all red. There was one bounce of 16,000. That's pretty much it. That's all she wrote. But we still have 15 minutes to go. But I mean, in the middle of the day, the trend is unbroken. Like if you're fighting to find like long bottoms, I'd just rather look for something which is showing you relative strength or stair-stepping up as opposed to trying to catch a bit of a bid here. Let's go back to the desk for Adara.
Another update from Disney right now. Disney has apparently turned down Trian's request for representation on the board. So that's with regards to Nelson Peltz, something to keep an eye on here. Not doing too much right now, but lots of Disney-related news continuing right now, guys.
All right, I'm seeing it. And I was just looking at Disney and not much is happening, but we are getting close to getting... I mean, we'll give it a couple more pennies here, but GME, we just took our one last average, and you can see what our price is. We actually got a good price. We're just long just above 15 now, so we're out of the money 10 cents. I don't, the way this is working, I just, remember, this is just a play that, we talked about the trend being your friend, well, then you should be short. We're just trying to do it off of this. We're right here, right now. This is yesterday's bottom. It's going to suck because we have one red stock today, CRM. Everything else is an absolute print factory. It's just a matter of this name not working out right now, and we're getting close to losing it. So if it does lose, then we're fine with it. We are offering upside in the teens to try to make this at least worth 1-to-1 for us right now. But I don't even think we need this stock to go 1-to-1. It's not really trading that well for us, but we'll put it back up and see if we can get it going back up there into the teens. So far, not the greatest trade here for us on GameStop, but we're waiting for it.
Yeah, just to give you an idea of what is happening in this market, NVIDIA 2.5% to the downside and just took out 470. It's not a fresh low. It actually bounced off 471. So if you zoom out, which you should always do if you're looking to find key levels, 465 is next. So if you get to 465, that's about $5 away from support on that name. I'm looking for maybe... I was talking about ARM showing some strength. I'm just looking at that 45. Intel gives me a reload. I have to question whether I want to take it because the market's making lows, and it's just popped back. So it was like 25 cents of money. Now it's like 10 cents of the money, which is going in the wrong direction. Checking to see if ARM was also relatively strong. It's not. So as the market's making lows, ARM is making lows. That's what you want to see happen. But if something is bouncing up, which, I had this bad wick on Intel. So if something's bouncing back up, which Intel's trying to do, I like to short off the 45, but what it's not giving you right now is lower, like you're getting the same top, but you're making higher lows in here. You just made a higher low on the 15-minute. So I need this underneath 1475 to be adding on weakness in this name. Rivian added back in at 17. I have a bid in front of 1680, so it looks like that stair step to the downside. This is 1680 in here. That's a next decent level. Once it breaks that, I mean, it could be free fall. Could set up an entry off the 75 level, but also have to see it consolidate first. So Rivian, it's all arrows to the downside for this EV name. And somebody just said Uber fresh low. I mean, what isn't making fresh lows right now is the better question.
The market is.
The market is now down, almost 1 full percent on the NASDAQ. Some profits being taken. I mean, it's been a great run, right? Like, it's been a November to remember, and now we're getting some selling. I waited until the last day of the month to actually say that for Sharif, because Sharif has spent the entire month trying to make November to remember a thing. So there you go. I've now co-signed it.
Nice. What is a thing is holding on to your damn shorts right now. $3 right now in the money. I'm going to spin this for you, Anthony F, as well. You shorted AMD. That's a good one. So we'll spin the money for you as well. We're $3 in the money on Tesla. We're $2.50 in the money on Microsoft. We're $2 in the money on MINM. And GameStop can once again go to hell because this name, we're out of the money 17 cents. And it's starting to bleed even further than we had hoped. So it did make a move back to 15 there, and I was like, yeah, maybe we should take some profit. And I said, no, this is going to be a loss on this one. The market is really coming in here, and GameStop's not going to be able to hold. I mean, who's going to buy GameStop when the market's absolutely coming back in right now? That Santa rally or meetup was yesterday. Who knows what's going to happen right now? But look at what's happening here. This is absolutely coming in. I mean, what a great day for Tesla today if you've been short. Short early, short again, short there. Now we get to the bottom of the day. Sometimes things work out, man. I mean, and look at Microsoft. Look at that reload right there. Boom. Microsoft's at the low of the day, and we're still in it. So couldn't be happier with some of the performance of some of these names today. Disappointed in CRM, but again, on the day, quick 50-cent hit, quick 30-cent hit. As it just continues to go down. Look at CRM really coming in right now. This is not going to be the time to go long the market or buy any dips.
Look at Snowflake, too.
Someone said Snowflake
Snowflake's
was
at
really
180.
Palantir.
180, $10 drop in Snowflake.
Oh, I can't
$10 in Snowflake to the downside.
Yeah,
but again, I mean, profit taking. It couldn't. Look, sometimes you don't have to trade if it doesn't set up. I was going long if it took out this high. I said, okay. I looked at the daily chart, said it needs to be breaking out those levels. I don't want to chase the move unless it's showing me a new range. It tried to go. You could have had a scalp trade on the 190 break, but once I don't take that trade, it's got to show me strength above there. I just got into AMC. I'm going to quickly show you why. So AMC, there we go. AMC yesterday bounced off 685. So pre-market low, opening range bottom at 1130. You had resistance and all kinds of consolidation at the same level. It just made a fresh low, and then the first consolidation was right off that 85 level. I'm going to short this and give it to this 95 level. If GameStop is going to the downside, I did this in the afternoon looking for some continuation. If it continues, then I'm doing the same thing we did in the afternoon show, looking for the flush and fill the gap in. As we go to the desk for Money Talks with Adair.
Some strength coming into the DXY right now. Second day to the upside, lots of strength right now, possibly because we did have this weaker data, economic data coming out of Canada with a weak GDP and also Europe. So with these other indicators a little bit weaker, DXY has been very much strong. We're at about 103.5 right now on the DXY. Also worth noting here, USD to the euro, still very strong amidst that weaker data coming out of Europe right now, guys.
All right, so we just thank you for that, Adara. We just gave it up, man. It broke 80 on GameStop. There it goes to the downside. Was basically a fail. I mean, we have winners on board. This is not one of them today. As GameStop just heads to the bottom. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's kind of funny because, again, I did the same thing again here today where I'd said when we brought up GameStop, it was on our board earlier. You guys might have heard me. I was like, oh, I don't even have GameStop written down today. And, you could see what happens there. But, again, I like that level, and I don't actually have a problem taking that trade. So I'm fine with it. We lost on it. It went back into yesterday's levels, and here it goes back up. So maybe we did hit, a bad level to get out there. We're only going to be giving up 10 cents on that, but there it goes right back up, down. Well, we lost 20 cents, but here's a nice move back into the upside now. Should I just go short now? Like, oh, we just lost. We just took a hit there. Now it bumps up 15 cents. Let's try a short in this and see if we can get it. We just took some 92s. Now see if we can make a little bit more money in that short now. Minimum, though, starting to go back upside again now. This is $2 in the money. Tesla, I mean, this should be an out there. I just, with this market continuing to bleed down, the event is at 3 p.m. I don't think that's going to be a, really, I think it's going to be a nothing burger, but at the same time, let's wait to see. Maybe there is that sell the news, right? Or sell the news. Yeah,
it'd be something.
Buy the rumor, sell the news. So, Tesla's been bought up. Tesla's chart doesn't even look that good. It looks great, but not great. It looks okay. Obviously, you'd like to see it up here, 260, 270 to break those levels. But as opposed to some of those other names, continues to struggle. And we've seen that with Rivian and the EV space and whatnot. So, yeah, I still think there's something up with this stock right now. I like it. I like to see ARC get more involved, maybe back up and some upgrades coming through. But for right now, Tesla continues to bleed down. I'm talking about this and I'm short $3 in the money. But there goes the market, still making moves to the downside again, including Softy, as there goes Softy. We're $3 in the money on 2 names right now. So today has been one of those days where we're cooking. So only a few minutes left. I hope everybody gets that. There's Saudi news with Tesla. Is there?
Saudi news?
I don't know. That's what Boring Man says. Or are you asking me if there is? I don't see anything, but I don't know.
I was just about to check Benzinga. Okay,
they're looking. I don't think so. I would have heard it.
I don't think so. I didn't think so either. If you're looking at the oil names, they've been trend down as well. But if you look at Ford, which tried to do their GM version of things, which is not working out for them, they're at the lows. It is worth mentioning on Ford.
Right.
Whoops, okay. There you go. On the daily chart, if this does get right down into 10 even, this has been really good support on Ford on this higher low. So if it gets to 10, I would look for bounce. I would treat that very similar to like the NEO level at 7 even, although NEO nowhere close. Bouncing off of 7, I think it was like 15, 12 again today. So NEO, one chance to get to 7 and another higher low. So this stock not going to get there. But Ford at $10, that's a scalp level to be sure. I do like that level if we can get it. I'm into AMC, and then it is consolidating lower. Not really making that flush down in, but if I can add to it above 85 into that 95 level, that'd be nice. Right now I got in at 83. Like it a little bit tighter to that 9 level if I can get short, looking back into 6.5. And just following GameStop. So I got to watch GameStop here because if I think it's the futures, oh, goodness. Why didn't I got in and out of GameStop. Basically flat. That was a keystroke error. But I just got in and out flat. And then it broke that local bottom, and it's like, why didn't I just short AMC there? I'm just thinking aloud. Like, if I like the GameStop's flushing going to AMC, then I should have been short AMC when GameStop did that, not underneath 15 even, because 15 even is anchoring to a level instead of just taking it right there. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm just sort of thinking aloud. I should have been in this maybe a little bit earlier. Rivian's still okay. Okay, I mean, Intel's still in the money. It's Amazon I wanted to get back to because what was a relatively strong stock for a hot minute, above 146, is still holding well past its low. Like the low of the day is 144.50 on Amazon, and you're still trading $1 above that. So I don't want to give up on if the market bounces, I like Amazon to the long side because it's still showing some relative strength. Just I don't think now is the time to get in, that's all. So I want to be very, very patient. This is the time of day to be patient. As I said, Intel, I got rid of this wick and it's right back. That's oh yeah, my 3-minute is missing that data. It's back underneath VWAP. I had to withstand one stop out and then jump back in. Then I shorted some at VWAP again, got the low, got back in, stopped out, waited for 45 to reject. That's probably the best entry, was waiting for 45 to reject. Now I'm just looking for the low of the day. So it's looking a little bit more clean on Intel. Just in time saying Disney short?
Probably.
I mean, it has been one. So the problem with shorting Disney here is it's holding the low, so you could scalp it. Like you could be short the top end of this range here, like 92.65, short like 50 to 60, holding into the low of the day, then you hold a piece for the dream that it breaks the low of the day. But you're away from VWAP here. If you look at it on the daily chart, you're kind of at a support level too. Like afternoon support, you also had a close there on Tuesday at that price. So you're at a level where it almost needs to break this low of the day, then you get the short, or just be sitting in it with a relatively tight stop is not bad either. So, I mean, it's not that bad of a look to short the consolidation, but if it breaks this little top, I don't think you're holding it to the high of the day. I wouldn't be doing that because it's at a pretty big level, exactly where the liquidity should be on Disney.
Yeah, good point about Disney, and I'm trying to feel out the same thing here. And just in case you guys were wondering, Neil talked about GME a little bit there. We actually got a 7. We went short, as you guys know, at 92. Or what price am I short? 92, yeah. And then we actually had a 71, so we got a bunch of fills on the way back down. First fill 82, then 80s, then 76s, then 71s. So again, we lost 20 cents on the way down. The most we were able to make was 20 cents on the way back in. So let's just, keep this in mind as we wait for GameStop to hopefully come back in a little bit here on what has been a pretty red day for that name. All right. So in being stubborn, in the stubborn play of the day, Tesla's bouncing now pretty good, right? So it's bouncing off that 241. So I'm going to put a bid. I did put a bid, just we're not filled yet. I put a bid at 240.80 when it was bouncing around 241, and I could have just taken it out. And this is going to be a lesson. What's cost me now 20 cents? I was waiting for 20 cents better is now costing $1 because I could have just punched out at 241 and didn't. So nice little rally back. I feel like there could be an intraday squeeze happening, at some point here and maybe even right now. So it's a nice bounce. We talked about the levels of 15.9. I was just sort of thinking the same thing as I've been talking about, that maybe if we broke through 15.9, which we did, we got to 15.880, that the next level down would be down into here. And then if that was the case, that Tesla's in the 230s. So I didn't mind it, but at the same time, definitely stared a $3 winner in the face and didn't take it, even more than that. So, we should have maybe done that. We're already out pretty much of most of these shares as we go, but we are holding out for a little bit lower of a move. And so those are those names. USO. Whoa, okay, this went the other way right now. Okay, I was going to look at USO, and I thought when I saw the 70 level there, that we were up here. But no, we're at 71.70. USO getting pumped right now. Oil, huge move to the downside. Nice drop into 71 bucks. Look at this pullback right now.
Yuck.
So huge move back down for oil, probably affecting names like XOM and whatnot as these moves come in. So hey, thank you so much for watching. It's 10:59, and we're getting ready to flip it over. You will flip hopefully organically. If not, it is a new stream to get Adara and Sharif. What's today's topic?
We're talking about moving average envelopes and
Okay, so two things I have no idea about. Moving average envelopes.
Okay.
Not bad. And the 4-week rule. All right, well, I'll be listening to this as well. I know the 3-day rule.
I know the 3-day. I've never heard this one, so I'm interested too.
So Sharif is excited. Those are those bangs. He's excited to bring it to you, and we're excited for him to bring it to you as well.
Exactly. So without further ado, we'll be back at 2 o'clock, and after we'll probably have had a decent salad and maybe some chicken because that's what we always.
Well, no, we're going out for lunch.
Oh no, that's right.
Mr. Jeffrey Mendel.
Yes. Sorry, Sharif. So we're going out for lunch. Mr. Mendel's in town. I had almost forgot about that. So we're going to be enjoying something other than a salad while you enjoy learning about the 4-week rule.
Yes.
Let's go and learn to trade with Sharif and Adara.
Was that you?
That there? Actually, totally.
Oh gosh, he did it.
Ram's killing in the chat. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to Learn How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show.